Right. So let's not waste the time. Welcome every one of you for the marathon class on GST, especially. Direct tax is hopefully over. Right. So let's start with the next 50 marks in our taxation. That is your goods and service tax. So when it comes to goods and service tax, there are nearly 14 topics which we have to cover again. Okay. But yes, all 14 will not be helpful for you. What all are having the weightage as per the ICAI exam? Yes, I'll be covering all those things, don't worry. And we will spread it across 2 days because we have 4 hours in each day. That is today 4 hours, tomorrow 4 hours. We'll try to cover the maximum extent possible in both the days put together. And the other thing is, when the class is going on, let's focus on the class instead of chatting with each of us, because now we don't have much time. Today is already April 13th. Yes, another hardly 15 days to go for the exam. Yes, considering here and there, if and but, another 15 days only are there for the exam. Maximum to maximum 20 days, because the exams have got postponed up to 5th. Correct? From 5th they are going to start. Right. So let's see quickly one by one. First of all, before we start with the GST, I mean to say the topics directly, I want every one of you to know whether you are updated with the recent changes which has happened in GST and those changes which are applicable for your GST exam. I mean to say this exam, May 2026 exam. So that is the reason I have opened directly the document which is telling you the statutory update. This is directly from ICAI material itself, my dear. This is not from somewhere else. I did not create anything at all. This is directly ICAI, because for us, Bhagavad Gita, Quran, Bible, everything is ICAI material. So in ICAI website only it is there. Directly I have downloaded the same. So let's see one by one what is the statutory update in each and every chapter. Hope you are very much aware of all those things. If you are not aware also, make this as an opportunity to be updated so that it will be helpful for you in the exam. And moreover, statutory updates always in the exam, they will have good weightage also. So let's see one by one. Before I go to the statutory updates, what is there in ICAI material, let me ask you one first question. GST is applicable on all supply of goods or services or both except dash. Very good, very good. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Are you aware there is an amendment here? One amendment is there here. What is that amendment? I'll tell you. I don't know whether you have some notes or so to write down all those amendments, because some points will come directly. Even though it is not there in the slide, I will tell you orally. So I want you to make a note of such kind of amendments, because while preparation, it will become very, very helpful for you. Yes. So please note down this point. If you are aware, it's okay. First listen. Then if you feel it has to be noted, please note it down immediately. That is what I can say. Now, what we generally have is GST is applicable on supply of goods or services or both except alcoholic liquor for human consumption. They have also included and undenatured extra neutral alcohol for human consumption. I don't know whether you are aware of this or not. That's the reason I asked you to make a note of all these things. Now GST is not applicable even to undenatured, undenatured, undenatured extra neutral alcohol, extra neutral alcohol for human consumption. Extra neutral alcohol for human consumption. So now that GST is not applicable even to these kind of things, that is now, sir, what is the difference between direct alcohol and extra neutral alcohol? What is this undenatured? Undenatured is nothing but the purest form of alcohol. This is one spirit which is directly extracted from the molasses. sugarcane molasses unnai kada, yes, cherku molasses, that waste, from that whatever you extract, that spirit is called as undenatured. Undenatured means no mixing is done. It is a purest form, and that is used to prepare your gin, vodka, rum, whiskey, all these things. So a part of this is mixed along with the juices. You know very well, grape juice and all is used for actually preparation of alcohol and all, correct or not? I mean to say this whiskey bottle, etc. So this undenatured alcoholic liquor for human consumption also is excluded from the scope of GST, because this came out as a discussion for many people. It came out as a discussion saying that what about this one, whether GST is applicable, because you are saying GST is not applicable only on alcoholic liquor for human consumption. What about this undenatured, extra neutral alcohol? What about this? So CBIC gave a clarification. Okay boss, cool, we thought that you will understand, but you are not understanding. You are raising a question unnecessarily, so let us give you a clarity. Hence they told now GST is not applicable to undenatured, extra neutral alcohol for human consumption. Clear about this? This one first update I wanted to give. Then the next updates comes directly from the charging section, charge of GST. Are you aware that now there is no more 12% rate of GST? Almost all 12% has now fallen under 5% category. Some of the 12% have gone to 18%. Yes, 95% of the products now are being covered under our 5% category, because 12% has been removed. Clear about this? And on semi-precious stones and all, you know very well, this jewelries and all, directly the rate of GST would be 3%, which is actually not mentioned anywhere in the material. But you have to be very cautious about these things, because CA institutes expect such kind of things only. Then the first amendment I would like to bring is with regard to the e-commerce operator. I'll come back. When I come to e-commerce operator definition separately, I'll come. But first I want to finish off amendments so that we will not miss out on any of them. Now that you know the subject, I can start the subject from anywhere. Any chapter also I can start. I need not directly start only from the levy and collection. Anywhere I can start, right? So if you observe this e-commerce operator definition, which is there in our levy and collection topic, it says e-commerce operator is a person who maintains and manages digital platform for supply of goods or services or both. So best example, our Amazon, Flipkart, Rapido, Swiggy, Zomato, Donzo, all these will come under our what? E-commerce operator. Now, such e-commerce operator, to be called as e-commerce operator, the government has notified some services which can be carried by e-commerce operator. Now, in this process, one small point they have added. What is that point? We will go through that point, but before that, first let's see what is there in the listed notification number 17/2017 has given you various lists. If you observe this, it has amended, has notified the following categories of services supplied through e-commerce operator. I am highlighting that for your easy understanding purpose. Now, what are those services? First, it says services by way of transportation of radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab, motorcycle or any other motorcycle except the omnibus. Now, here also they are asking you, hope you know about what do you mean by radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab and all. Yes, so radio taxis are the one which are having this GPS frequency installed in that in their system. That's why they call them as radio taxi. Motor cab means, you know, which runs with the motor only, specifically designed for that purpose. Maxi cab means the cab which carries passengers more than 6. That's called maxi. That's a big cabs we book, you know, when we have a family tour and all. That's called maxi cab. Then any other vehicle except omnibus. What do you mean by omnibus? Again, a vehicle which transports passengers more than 6 but less than 13. Including driver means it will become 14. That's the reason such kind of vehicles are called as omnibus. We know all those points very clearly. Then services of transportation of passengers by omnibus except where, this is very important, except where person supplying such service through ECO is a company. So the person who is supplying those services through ECO, if he is a or if the person is a company, then that is not a notified category here. Please understand, for to be called as a notified category, the person supplying those services should not be a company. That is the whole idea. Then services by way of providing accommodation in hotels, in guest house, nothing but your your lodging, boarding, everything will come under this, except, now here he is saying, except where the person supplying such service through e-commerce operator is liable for registration under section 22 subsection 1. You know very well, 22 subsection 1 gives you list of persons who are supposed to be registered. So even voluntarily also they can register, there is no problem. So such persons will not be covered under this notified category. Then you have services by of housekeeping, plumbing, carpenting. Best example I can give, urban clap. You are booking urban clap people for cleaning of especially washrooms in our house. Yes, now even this what is that, Pronto app, something is coming. There also they are daily cleaning, not more than 99 rupees. That way you are getting advertisement. All those people will come under this category. Okay. Then supply of restaurant service, your Zomato, Swiggy, everyone will come under this restaurant service. Now see the words which are highlighted in red color. This is what is the amendment which has been added in this for this attempt. Please be careful. Services by way of local delivery. Local delivery means your this what you call Dunzo guys are there, no? Zepto, Dunzo, all these are your local delivery people. They are also treated as e-commerce only, but they are saying except where the person supplying such services through e-commerce operator is liable for registration under section 22 subsection 1 of the CGST Act. So what is he saying? Directly those persons who are local delivery boys, they are all, or boys or girls maybe, they are also treated as carrying on e-commerce, except where that e-commerce is separately required to be registered under section 22. That means your turnover is exceeding that 20 lakhs is what he is trying to tell. Then only you are liable for registration under 22, no? Yes, that is what he is trying to tell. So this is one amendment, and he is telling you, if you observe here, it is effective from 22nd September 2025. That means it is applicable for your attempt, my dear. That is the reason I wanted to especially take you through this. So I am highlighting that 22/9/2025. There is a notification also, number 17/2025. Then comes your changes in the GST rate, especially when it comes to GTA services. If you remember, you have already learned taxation of GTA services, similarly taxation of renting of motor vehicles. Yes, in that what you say, in case of GTA services, generally reverse charge will be applicable. In case of reverse charge, the rate of GST will be 5%, we know. But sometimes you can also have forward charge also. GTA can opt to pay tax even on forward charge. Now when it goes to pay tax on forward charge, two rates will be applicable. I'm talking of old rate. 5% and 12% was applicable earlier. 5% when you do not avail ITC. When you avail ITC, it was 12%. But now, since the government has removed the 12% category, there was an amendment, no? GST rates and all in 53rd GST Council, they have changed. Yes, now that 12% has now jumped to 18%. Are you clear? So, simple. Number one, if you are not availing ITC, the rate of GST would be 5%. If you are availing ITC, instead of 12%, now it will jump to 18%. Those are the rates which are changed, which I asked you as a first question when we started this one. So I think I need not discuss much on this. Anyhow, we will come back to all these points later. Again, same service of renting of any motor car vehicle designed to carry passengers where the cost of fuel is included in the consideration charge from the recipient. Nothing but our cabs and all. Same logic. Earlier, it was 5%. If you do not avail ITC, and this is remaining unchanged, he has told already. But if you wish to avail ITC, then what will happen? Earlier the rate was 12%, but now it has been increased to 18%. If you observe this one, that is the amendment which you have to keep in mind. Again, it has come from 22nd September 2025. Hope every one of you have gone through these amendments. Otherwise also, now I am sharing it. You can please be careful. Then comes your amendment in the exemption category. Now, 3 new exemptions have been added. Especially, you would have heard this discussion happening in the market. What is the discussion which was happening in the market with regard to exemption? If you remember, Nirmala Sitharaman had made an announcement saying, now no more GST on insurance. If you remember. So they have added 3 points with regard to the insurance sector. 3 new exemptions. So if they are providing life insurance, so if any company is providing life insurance, no more GST. Earlier GST was there, now they have removed. Similarly, if they are providing health insurance also, no more GST. But listen carefully, for health insurance, they have told one exception. What is that exception is, if it is a group staff insurance scheme, that means employer is taking the insurance for all the staff and he has noted or mentioned it as a staff group insurance scheme, then GST would be applicable. GST is not applicable only when it is individual policy. Like I am taking a health insurance policy, or your parents are taking health insurance policy, or you yourself are taking health insurance, GST will not be applicable. And for this reason, I am expecting a question from this area, so please be careful. They might suddenly ask you motor vehicle insurance. Instead of saying motor vehicle, they'll say insurance on motor vehicle. Now what you will think immediately once the point insurance strikes your mind, sir told no, it is an exemption, chalo, nil. You'll write and come out and you'll say, super, taxation 75 exemption I'll get. That is where you will make a mistake. So let's not make such kind of minor mistakes, my dear. That is why I am telling you again. Please understand, insurance services which are only life and health insurance only, exemptions are given. Motor vehicle insurance exemption is not given. And even in health insurance also, if it is a staff group insurance scheme, exemption is not given. Still they continue to be liable to GST. Understood? So let's see all those now. Yes. So if you see, before that, goods transport agency services, one point they have added again, that local delivery services only, same thing they have amended. So if you see amendment in existing exemptions, first let's complete what are the amendments in the existing part. Existing, what are they? First one he is saying services by way of transportation of goods. Now what is he saying? By road except, earlier we had only these two, goods transport agency and courier agency. But now they have added one more thing. Please see here. Explanation they have given. What is this? They are saying nothing contained in this entry shall apply to local delivery services provided by an e-commerce operator or local delivery services provided through an e-commerce operator. Now what is the difference between first point and second point? Local delivery services provided by an e-commerce operator. Second, he is saying local delivery services provided through an e-commerce operator. What is the difference? Simple. In the first one, I am an e-commerce operator. Like best example, Uber. Yes. If they themselves are having their own bikes and cars, then the first point. If I am a third party, I am rendering some services to customers through e-commerce portal. That means nothing but when we are booking an bike, what is happening? A private bike fellow is coming. But he is coming through what? Through that platform. Correct or not? That is the reason why we call this platform people, these e-commerce operators, as aggregator of services. There is one new concept, not a new concept here, but nowhere it is mentioned. In the old law, when we had service tax and all, we used to use this word called aggregator. Aggregator is nothing but a person who is a e-commerce operator who maintains a digital platform, brings buyer and seller onto a common platform. He is called as a aggregator. So all such services will be now excluded from the definition of this one. Which one? See, nothing contained in this entry shall apply to. That means this entry is an exemption entry. That exemption shall not apply to local services is what local delivery services is what he is trying to tell. That means Rapido, Uber, all these things, GST will be applicable is what he is trying to tell. Okay. Then now new exemption they have introduced. I have already told you just now what is the new exemption and all. Let's see one by one. First, 36C, serial number 36C they have introduced. Services of life insurance provided by an insurer to the insured. Now till here you please observe. Services of life insurance business provided by the insurance person to the insured, not to the group. Now see the next line, where the insured is not a group. So if it is a group insurance scheme, GST will be applicable. Exemption is not available. Exemption is not available to whom? To the group insurances. Only to individual insurances exemption is available. Okay. Then for removal of doubts, very clearly they told it is hereby clarified that. What is it clarified? First, this exemption shall apply to a contract of insurance where the insured is an individual or an individual and family of the said individual. That means it can happen to me and my family, because my family is not a group. It can happen to myself and my family members, but it should not happen to the group. Group means that employer, when he has all the employees, staff group insurance schemes is what we call. Okay. So next, for the purposes of A above, now what he says, family shall include all individuals insured as a family in the contract of insurance. That is what he is telling you. So it is not applicable to the group. I am highlighting that word once again for your easy remembrance. Where the insured is not a group. If it is a group insurance, I told you just now also, exemption will not be available, because I am stressing so many number of times, because a question will come from all these areas. Please be careful. If I am the paper setter, I will definitely ask the question, because students should know all these things. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the health insurance 36D, services of health insurance business provided by an insurer to the insured where the insurer is not a group. Again, so insured person should not be a group. Again, if it is one-to-one health insurance, yes, it will be applicable. So same explanation they have given you. The exemption shall apply to a contract of insurance where the insured is an individual or an individual and the family of the said individual. That and all same. Now see here, the new one what I was telling you is reinsurance of insurance services specified in serial number 36C and 36D. What do you mean by reinsurance? Any idea? Reinsurance is nothing but every year we have to pay premium. That's called reinsurance. So when you take when you pay the premium on those policies also, GST will not be applicable. So what they are trying to tell you, GST is not only applicable for new insurance policies which are life and health insurance, but they are also applicable to the premiums what you pay on those insurances. That is what is the meaning of this exemption in 36E they have given. Reinsurance of insurance services. So please be careful. Then amendments in the existing definition. Goods transport agency, just now we have discussed and completed the amendment. So same thing. He is saying goods transport agency means a person who provides service in relation to transport of goods by road and issues a consignment note by whatever name called, but does not include. Now GTA does not include whom? An electronic commerce operator by whom the services of local delivery are provided. Similarly, an electronic commerce operator through whom the services of local delivery are provided. Same points what we discussed only. He is saying that is why, if you see in the first entry what we discussed just now, what was there? This entry shall not apply to local delivery services. Do you remember? That's why now he says GTA does not include those local delivery services. Did you understand? Because if it is a GTA, ultimately exemption is available. Are you clear? That is the reason why they made amendment to the definition of goods transport agent also. The new definitions they have introduced. What do you mean by health insurance? What do you mean by life insurance and all? I have already told you just now. Once again, let us not spend time on this notification. Then comes your value of supply. If you remember, section 15 was there, value of supply. What happens in section 15 ma? If you remember, 15 says we have to use the value as transaction value, correct? Now this transaction value has some inclusions and exclusions. If you remember, what are the exclusions? You tell me, what all should not be included in the transaction value? If you remember, discount should not be included. If you remember, subsidies received from central government or state government should not be included. If you remember, TCS charged under the Income Tax Act should not be included, correct? These are the three exclusions which are mentioned in section 15 subsection 2. Now, please understand one important point. In this 15 subsection 2, with regard to discount, what are the types of discounts we are having? If you remember, primary discount, secondary discount. What do you mean by primary discount? The discount which is given at the time of selling the goods itself is called as primary discount, and that discount will be mentioned in the invoice. That's why it is excluded from the taxable value. What about secondary discount? Can I also use the word called post-sales discount? Post-sales or secondary discount, all are one and same. Now, what is the meaning of post-sales or secondary discount? The discount which arises after delivery of goods to the buyer. But such discounts can be excluded only if, number one, what? It should be mentioned in the agreement. Correct or not? And he should have already given credit note for that. What was the third condition? The ITC relating to the discounted part has to be reversed by the buyer. Correct? Here only there is an amendment. What is the amendment is now wait. Since the seller is already issuing a credit note to the buyer, that means it already reduced from buyer's purchases and input also got reduced. Again, the buyer is not required to reverse the input tax credit is what they are saying, because if he reverses it will lead to double taxation. Are you clear? So that point which we used to discuss in the class, yes, now there is an amendment. The law is saying you need not reverse any proportionate discounts. That is what you have to be careful. So I'll just tell you one example, just visualize. Assume A sold goods to be worth 10,000. He charged GST at the rate of 5%. How much he would have charged? 10,500 totally. Now he gave 1 week time and he told, if you pay within 3 days, I'll give you 10% discount on the bill. Okay. Now buyer B is not sure about whether he will pay within that 3 days or not. Hence what buyer did? Buyer had already taken input tax credit of 500 rupees, which is lying in the electronic credit ledger. Correct? And now, fortunately or unfortunately, buyer had paid that money within 3 days and he got 1,000 rupees discount. Why 1,000? 10% I told. 10% of 10,000 rupees he got discount. So 1,000. That means buyer should actually avail ITC on how much? 9,000 into 18% only he has to avail the ITC. Which means 9,000 into 18% means how much it is? Okay, I'll tell you. 1,000 into 5% will become nothing but 50 rupees. So actually buyer should have availed only 450 rupees as a input tax credit. But he has already availed how much? 500 as an input tax credit. Now, the seller will issue a credit note to the buyer for 1,000 rupees. So when he issues a credit note to the buyer for 1,000, why 1,000? Discount? No. Now what he will do? 1000 into that 5%, which will become 50. That means when seller already gave 1000 to the buyer, that means in seller's GSTR number 1, hope you are clear about that one. In seller's GSTR number 1, he would have raised a credit note in the name of the buyer. When he already raised a credit note in the name of the buyer, for buyer, in the input tax credit, so much would have already got reduced. Correct or not? This is a procedural aspect. Now, since it already got reduced, once again buyer need not reverse off the input tax credit of 50 rupees, because already 50 rupees got reduced by virtue of credit note which the seller has issued to the buyer. That is an amendment here in this from this May 2026 exam. So please be careful. That is what he is saying here. Clarification on various doubts relating to treatment of secondary or post sales discount. I think it is clear now. Secondary or post sales discount under GST. So what is the clarity? Issue is whether full input tax credit is available to the recipient of supply when the recipient makes discounted payment to the supplier on account of financial or commercial credit notes issued by the supplier. Credit notes issued by the supplier, he's saying. Now clarification. The law has already given clarification. Let's see what is the clarification law has given. Section 16 subsection 1 of the CGST Act provides that every registered person shall take entitled to take the credit of input tax charged on supply of goods or services or both which are used or intended to be used in the course or furtherance of this common point only. That's why I'm going little fast. Now, it has been clarified by virtue of circular number 92/11/2019 that the supplier of goods can, see here, can. They did not tell must mandatorily issue. They used one word called the supplier can issue a commercial credit note, financial or commercial credit notes, and in such cases he will not be eligible to reduce his original tax liability, as the transaction value is not allowed to be reduced on account of issue of financial commercial credit note. Accordingly, the tax charged from the recipient would not get reduced earlier. And now thus they are saying it is clarified that the recipient will be required to reverse the input tax credit, okay, attributable to the discount provided on the basis of commercial credit notes or financial or commercial credit notes, as there is no reduction in the original value of transaction of supply, and accordingly corresponding tax liability will not get reduced. So you please don't reverse any of the credit. Already they have given you the credit note, in that already adjustment has been done. Once again, you need not do separately, is what they are saying. Understood? So this is one of the amendment in value of supply. Similarly, whether a post-sale discount offered by manufacturer to its dealer or distributor would be treated as consideration paid by the manufacturer for the dealer's supply of the same goods to the end consumer as a monetary value of inducement. Obviously, it will not be treated as a valid consideration at all. Why? Because you are issuing the credit note. Again, it will not be treated as consideration. So that is what they have given the meaning of consideration and all. I would like every one of you to just go through once you go home. Okay. Then the same thing only. Next. Yes. TDS and TCS, there is a amendment. Again, amendment has come because there is a change in the notified list of services provided by the e-commerce operator. For that only the amendment has come. You need not worry. See here, again they have given in the red same thing only. Service of local delivery except where the person supplying such services through e-commerce operator is liable for same thing only. They are saying again and again. We need not repeat the points. Then comes your last one. In GST returns, if you remember, we have something called annual return. Yes, annual return has to be filed when the turnover in the preceding financial year exceeds 2 crore. Correct or not? No. No. You are not aware of this. GSTR 9. No. Okay, anyhow, I am telling you, GSTR number 9 is the annual return which has to be filed by every taxpayer. So please understand that taxpayers whose turnover in the preceding financial year exceeds 2 crore, they have to file the annual return. Now there is an amendment here. What is the amendment is, many people started arguing with the department. Sir, okay, you are saying preceding financial year it is 2 crore. So once I start filing annual return, is it required every year for me? Because next year maybe because of market condition my turnover might be less than 2 crore. In that case also your GST officers are sending us notice, why didn't you file annual return? When we try to explain them, Arey Baba, my turnover did not exceed 2 crore, they are saying in one of the financial year if it exceeds also you have to file GSTR 9. Now for that clarification they have given now. What they told by virtue of this circular is, please understand, if in any financial year, now they have brought this word, not only last financial year, any financial year the turnover does not exceed 2 crore, the taxpayer is exempted from filing annual return is what they are saying. That means, listen, I'll tell you one example. 2023-24 my turnover exceeded 2 crore, hence I had to file annual return. 24-25 my turnover exceeded 2 crore, again I filed annual return. 25-26 my turnover is only 1.8 crore. Now earlier, before giving this clarification, what was the rule is, since I already filed GSTR 9 in 23-24, 24-25, I was supposed to file GSTR 9 even for 25-26, even though my turnover was less than 2 crore. But now they have brought this, see here, very clearly they told, in the exercise of powers, the commissioner on the recommendations of the council, in respect of filing the annual return for financial year 24-25 onwards, from here, over is over, gatam gata, leave it. Now from now onwards, from 24-25, they have exempted the registered person whose aggregate turnover, now see, this is the word they have introduced, any financial year up to 2 crore from filing the return of that said financial year. That said financial year. They are not saying lifelong you are exempted. I told you, no. 23-24, 24-25, 25-26. 25-26 exempted. Now 26-27 it became 2.1 crore. You are supposed to file. 27-28 it became again 1.9 crore only. You are exempted from filing. So that year only they are saying. See the wordings. That's what is very, very important in this aspect. Okay. So these are some statutory provisions. So statutory updates, which are nothing but amendments in our language. So let's see, let's once revise what are the things that got changed. Number one, the tax rates got changed. Which tax rates? Especially for GTA and that renting of motor vehicles, that 12% became 5%. Correct or not? And forward charge 18%. Right. Now, next, there was an amendment in the definition of e-commerce operator, where local delivery services and all also are forming part of the e-commerce operator definition. Clear? Similarly, third, there was an amendment in definition of GTA. GTA also amendment, no. Why? Because GTA does not include this local delivery services also. They have given very clearly. Similarly, the fourth amendment was with regard to discounts. Yes, in case of post-sale discount or secondary discount, the recipient need not reverse the ITC proportionately on the discounted portion already, because he is receiving the financial or commercial credit note. Then last one, what was the other one? Exemptions. We got 3 new exemptions also. Am I right or not? What are the 3 new exemptions? One is life insurance, health insurance, and lastly reinsurance of these 2 insurances. So 36C, 36D and 36E got incorporated. So these amendments, firstly I wanted to tell in the class, then only I wanted to go to the other revision points, because all other points you have already studied. Only thing is you have come here for a revision. Now you have to tell me each and every point, because I will display all the slides. But you should tell me, when I ask you some points, you have to tell me. And wherever you are missing, I will point out where you are missing, so that it will become easy for you. Okay? Right. And before I go to that, How many of you have downloaded this Saransh? How many of you know that there is something called Saransh? Saransh is a last minute referencer, which is provided once again by the CA Institute only. So if you see this, this is very, very important document. Yeah. This is your preface and all. Yeah, before we begin, see, like this they'll give you meaning of tax, direct tax, indirect tax, like this they'll give you for your revision purpose. GST is a destination based tax, no cascading effect, there should be some value added to that, yes. Then continuous chain of tax credit, we say no seamless credits, yes. Then for that one example also they have given, you can just go through this. Then they have also given you what do you mean by what you call intrastate supply, interstate supply, when will reverse charge be applicable, all these things they have given one by one. If you see this, you will understand. Yes, beautiful, beautiful document which the CA Institute has given for revision purpose. So if you see like this, genesis of GST, I don't know how many of you have gone through this. First of all, please go through this. This is the journey of GST. What is the need of GST he is giving? Yes. Then he is giving you when it was introduced. Everything in detail they have mentioned, my dear. Then GST common portal they have given. Yes. They have given you examples of GST common portal, e-way bill system. Then compensation cess they have given. This is one slide where the question is mandatorily being asked for 4 marks. What are the taxes that are subsumed into GST they are asking you. Yes, mention any 4 direct and indirect taxes they are saying. Then you are also having what are the things which are outside the scope of GST, and this benefit of GST slide, this also they are asking for 4 marks. What are the benefits? Understood? So please go through this what you call Saransh, which is a last minute referencer. Okay, download it. It is there in the ICAI portal. Directly you can go there. Last Saransh one tab is there where you have this new material and all. No, after that one tab is there called Saransh. Please go and download. It is available both for direct taxes as well as for indirect taxes, my dear. Please go through that. It will become helpful for you. Last minute it will help you to prepare. I'm telling you. Okay, right. Having said this, let's go through the first chapter, levy and collection. Nearly 13 marks are being asked from this levy and collection mark. 13 marks. So solid. Let's start one by one. 13 solid marks are being asked. So let's quickly go through the definitions in your GST. Then we will go to all those points one by one. So you know, yes, I think it should be visible to every one of you properly only. Otherwise, just come front and sit so that it will become easy. I mean to say that wordings, that letters, I can't zoom it because it is getting distracted from this board. It is going up and down. So I am not doing that. So let's see CGST and SGST Act. If you see, so IGST Act, they are applicable to whole of India. Now, what do you mean by India? I have given you. India includes. Now, this what is the 2 marks question they are asking you in GST. Define the term India. Directly they are asking. Yes. So, India means nothing but it includes territorial waters of India. Territorial waters extends up to how many nautical miles? 12 nautical miles. From there, it also extends up to continental shelf and exclusive economic zone of India. That extends up to how many nautical miles? 200 nautical miles. Do you remember? Then it also applies to the airspace above its territory. Yes, airspace. That means someone who is going the flight, GST will be applicable. Why? Because sir, how is it applicable, sir? Simple. In a flight also they might sell this goods that beautiful air hostess will come and, sir, do you like to have some coffee, tea or sandwich? And antadu kada. So what will happen? So ultimately on that also GST will be applicable. If you want, you buy one sandwich and see, you will understand. Okasari konte vashipotadi. So from that next time you will never buy at all. Okay. So that is the reason why GST is applicable, because they are saying India includes even the airspace above the territory. Okay. Then comes your some important definitions I have given. What do you mean by goods? You know very well, goods means includes all kind of movable property other than money and securities here. All others, actionable claims are included as goods. Okay. Similarly, what do you mean by exempted goods? I have given. This also they are asking ma. Difference between exempted goods, taxable goods, nil rated goods, what you call non-taxable goods. Yes, when I come to supply, I will discuss. I'll give you the differences and all. Don't worry. Now, exempt supply means what? Obviously, this refers to supplies that are attracting nil rate of tax or which is wholly exempt from tax under section 11. Or it also includes non-taxable supply also. Okay. Then, e-commerce operator, just now we have done so much number of times same discussion. So, I am not going to the e-commerce definition once again. Then, very important, this also they are asking for 2 marks. Define the term aggregate turnover. What do you mean by aggregate turnover? Obviously, turnover includes value of all taxable supplies, but does not include any inward supplies on which tax was paid on reverse charge mechanism. Correct? Then this turnover, he very clearly, inclusions he has given very clearly, it includes exempt supplies, your exports and any interstate supplies. This applies to the persons having same PAN number. Why they are bringing PAN number concept here? Because GST registration is based on PAN number. You know very well, that's the reason I am not further discussing. What are excluded? Obviously simple. The GST tax itself is excluded. Are you clear? So instead of that, they are saying central tax, state tax, union territory tax, integrated tax, and all are nothing but your GST only is not included. Then, what do you mean by business? Business also, you have learned number of times in your MEC commerce also. Business means and includes every trade, commerce, occupation, profession, and any activity incidental or ancillary to such trade, occupation, profession. Same definition only, nothing new here. But some points I wanted to mention in this definition of business. Please see. Business includes, first one, commencement or closure. What do you mean by commencement or closure? Commencement or closure means, listen, I started one business. In that process, I purchased all these furniture, camera, projector, laptop, everything. It is a business because I did not purchase it for my personal purposes. It was done in the course or furtherance of business. Same way, after 1 year or 2 years, I closed down the business. In the process of closing down, I sold this camera, projector, laptop, furniture, everything I sold. Again, it is in the course or furtherance of business. Hence, it will form part of your business activity. First one. Then second, member facility. Member facility means when you go to a club, Gymkhana Club, Secunderabad Club, Hyderabad Club, Jubilee Hills Film Club, all those clubs where you go, they supply food and drinks. Yes, all that supply also will be treated as business. They are not doing any charity there because they are charging good amount only for that. Extra fees only, extra amounts only they are charging. Okay, then comes your third. How many of you went to Wonderla? Oh, any other amusement park where you purchased a ticket and went? No. Ocean Park, Wonderla, any other theme park? ఏంటది వండర్లా ఓకే సమ్ అదర్ న్యూ నేమ్ ఐఎమ్ గెటింగ్ బ్లూ థండరా అది ఎక్కడుంది బీబీ నగర్ ఓకే సమ్వేర్ ఐ డోంట్ నో మేబీ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ అప్డేటెడ్ విత్ దట్ బ్లూ థండర్ ఇట్ సీమ్స్ సమ్ అదర్ థండర్స్ విల్ కమ్ సో వేర్ ఎవర్ వాటర్ పార్క్స్ అమ్యూజ్మెంట్ ఫెసిలిటీస్ ఆర్ దేర్ all those when you enter by paying the fees, are they doing the business or not? Hence it is included. See, that is why permission admission I gave. Permission admission means nothing but premises admission. That is nothing but you are entering into a premises by paying some admission fee. That's called premises admission, and that also is a business. Then comes your third one, office holder services. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by office holder services? Office holder services is, I'll tell you one example. Say for example, I am acting as an auditor for ABC Private Limited. Okay. Now I am the auditor here. In that process, what they told is, boss, you are the auditor, no? We don't have a CFO. Who is CFO? Chief Financial Officer. We don't have a CFO. Why don't you only act as a CFO? Now that is called officer holder services. Officer holder means I am already doing a profession with them. In that process, I am also holding an office. Now just because I became a CFO, I am not an employee to them. I became CFO in the process of, just because I was doing the audit of their entity. That's called office holder, and my remuneration will be treated as a business income only. It will not be treated as a salary income. Generally, a person who is appointed as a CFO, for him salary will be paid. Are you clear? Then comes your race club activities. How many of you are aware in Hyderabad there is a race club in Malakpet? Horse races happen. In Malakpet it is there. Big race club is there. Of course, you are not allowed into that. That's a different issue. After you become major only, you are allowed. Now don't say, sir, we are already major, sir. You have not crossed 21 years, my dear. You are not a major as per the Indian Contract Act. Section 3 very clearly says, Section 3 of the Indian Majority Act says you will become a major if you have a guardian only after completion of 21 years. So hopefully every one of you are having guardians here. Guardian includes parents also. That's the reason you will get entry only after how many years? 21 years. Then only you will become a major. Please be careful. Then comes your public authority functions. Now government and all, they come and provide various services in their respective constituencies. Like Aadhaar card. If they are doing no Aadhaar card processing, any changes you can go and get updated. All those are your public authority services. Those all also will be treated as business only. So these points I wanted to tell you with regard to the definition of business. Then comes your consideration. What do you mean by consideration? We had again that also in the Indian Contract Act, where at the desire of promisor, promisee or any other person has done or has abstained from doing, does or abstains from doing, promises to do or abstain from doing something such an act or abstinence is called consideration for promise. Correct? So same thing here also. They are saying, but instead of saying where at the desire of promisor, they are directly saying, number one, any payment in money or otherwise. Otherwise means something in return. Okay, made for supply of goods or services. Now this includes, see the last line I gave, this includes future payments also. This also include acts or forbearance to do an act. Act or forbearance means, you know, no, we had no in the definition, doing or abstaining from doing. That abstaining is nothing but forbearance to do the act. That also is a consideration. Same points only. Yes, nothing new here in our this one. But only one thing is, it specifically excludes, what my dear? Subsidy received from central or state government. It specifically excludes, what my dear? Subsidy received from central or state government. Then, definition of person we know already. In our income tax law also, we have learned the same points only. Individual, HUF, AOP, BOA, firm, local authority, company and BJP. AJP. What is AJP? Full form? Artificial. Please, हाथ जोड़ के प्रणाम करता हूं. It is not artificial judicial person. It is artificial juridical person. Please understand. There is a lot of difference between artificial juridical person and artificial judicial person. Please understand. When you say artificial judicial person, you are making the judge as an artificial fellow. Are you able to understand law? Very carefully you have to be while putting the words. Artificial juridical. Juridical means in income tax law and GST law, jurisdiction means area. A person in an area who is an artificial person is called as an artificial juridical person. That is why when we teach income tax law, we say AJP, best example, temple, church, mosque, all these are artificial people. Our CA Institute, CMA Institute, Osmania University, all these are your artificial. Now tell judicial. You will not tell. Why? Because I told you now examples. Now you will understand. Artificial juridical person, my dear. It is not artificial judicial person. Please, again, don't write those words and come out. Are you clear? Now did you understand what kind of mistakes you are making? It is not artificial judicial person. It is juridical person. That's why I stopped here. Now, what do you mean by recipient of supply? Chalo beta. Who? What do you mean by recipient of supply? Jaldi bolo. Recipient means who? Forget about the definition. Tell who is a recipient. A person who receives the goods or services is called as a recipient? No. When he pays the cash, he is a recipient. When he takes the goods for credit also, he is a recipient only. Correct or not? So when consideration is payable, the person who pays the consideration. When consideration is not payable, yes, because consideration can be future also. Just now we discussed. When consideration is not payable, what will happen? The person who pays the consideration in future and receives the goods right now or receives the services right now will be called as a recipient of supply. Now, will the agent of the recipient also be treated as a recipient? Answer is very much yes. The agent also will be treated as a recipient only. Why, sir, the agent is treated as recipient? For this, again, I am taking you through the Sale of Goods Act. In the Sale of Goods Act, you had one person called mercantile agent. Mercantile agent also is treated as the owner. He can also transfer the valid title to the bona fide purchaser, we say. Provided mercantile agent should have goods and document of title in his possession. Same thing here also. Agent of the recipient also, he will have all the documents. He will have all the goods. That is why agent is also treated as a recipient and he will have same rights of the recipient. Did you understand? Then some more points. First point in that is reverse charge. What do you mean by reverse charge? Bolo beta, jaldi. What happens in reverse charge? Fast. The recipient will pay the tax instead of the tax being collected by the supplier. Very good. Next, who is the supplier then? Obviously, the person who supplies goods or services or both in the course or furtherance of business is called supplier. Very good. Then what is a non-taxable supply? Supply which is not chargeable to tax is called non-taxable supply. Then you have services. What do you mean by service? Something which is other than goods is called as services. Very good. Next, taxable supply means what? On which you pay the tax. Correct or not? And lastly, who is a taxable person? Right. Clear about the definitions? Yes, in the definitions, be careful with the definition of aggregate turnover. Be careful with the definition of consideration. And be careful with the definition of business. These three definitions, of course, India. These four definitions will play a vital role. Please be careful. Understood? Now, we are going to straight away section 9. Levy and collection. Bolo. By looking at the image, it is very clear for you. I need not tell you. In the image, try to decode the image. What happened in the first image? What is happening in the second image? First image, what is happening, my dear? The supply is happening in the same state. If you see, state A only I mentioned. So what supply it is dash? Intrastate supply. If it is happening in the same state. Then, in the second image, if you see state A I gave, state B also I gave. What is happening there? Jaldi bolo. Interstate supply. Now when it is a intrastate supply, what all will be applicable? Fast. CGST, SGST or UTGST will be applicable. If it is happening in the Pondicherry or Daman and DU, yes, all these things. Next, if it is a interstate supply, what will happen? IGST will be applicable. That is what I wrote in the notes also. Don't worry. Understood? Now. However, there is no GST on these products. I have mentioned them in the red color. Please see, all the petroleum related products are not there. So please see, petroleum crude, motor, spirit, commonly known as petrol. Next, natural gas, and best thing you can easily remember is Iran war. All these are affected. For your exam, that's how you can remember. What all are, am I right or not? Did you listen to this in the news or not? Petrol is not available, diesel is not available, aviation, turbine fuel. That's why flight cost and all have increased. You know how much was the price for flight from here to Dubai? 1 month back, you know how much was the cost? 15,000 rupees. From here to Dubai, 15,000. Now today, you know what is the cost? 1 lakh rupees. Because they are not getting aviation turbine fuel. Understood? That's how you can remember all these things. Iran war is the best example, easy way to remember all these items which are outside the scope of GST. Then, again our friend came, e-commerce operator came again. Now, but here with a different notion they have come. What is the different notion they have come is e-commerce operator. We have learned the definition just now as an amendment, but how will the e-commerce operator be liable to pay the tax? 4 marks question. Define the term e-commerce operator. How is he liable to pay the tax? Now listen. For that you should know the history also. Earlier, this Flipkart, Amazon and all did not have companies in India. Uber, These people did not have companies in India. They operated from foreign country. So what used to happen when they operated from foreign country? There should be someone who is responsible to pay the tax in India. Hence, Indian government told, hey, while incorporation itself, our SPICE form is there, no? Our law. SPICE, incorporation form. Simplified pro forma in incorporation of a company electronically. That is a full form of SPICE. And now, in that SPICE, while incorporating itself, they have to nominate a person who is in India. Why? Because who will be responsible to pay the tax of these people? For that, taking those provisions, the GST law also told, if e-commerce operator does not have any physical presence in India, if e-commerce operator does not have a physical presence in India, now what will happen? Who is responsible to pay the tax here? A person representing here, a person representing the that side, a person representing the ECO in the taxable territory is liable. This is when they don't have any physical presence. If they have physical presence, why to discuss about they only are responsible? No. Common sense. That is the first point. Now, if e-commerce operator has no physical presence, third point, bottom one. If e-commerce operator does not have physical presence, he did not even appoint a agent in India. Now what? The law will not leave you. You first come and now appoint them. Then those persons will be liable to pay the tax is what they are saying. Understood? Then comes your important aspect. Again, 4 marks question is coming from this. Reverse charge mechanism. Now you tell me what do you mean by reverse charge mechanism? Just now you told, come on, who is liable to pay the tax in reverse charge mechanism? The recipient will be liable to pay the tax instead of being collected from the supplier. That's called reverse charge mechanism. Now this reverse charge will come in 2 scenarios. One is on the goods or services which are notified by the government. Other one is when the supply happens from an unregistered person to a registered person. That is, the supplier is unregistered, but the recipient is a registered person. Now, don't ask me a foolish question. What if reverse, sir? If supplier is registered, recipient is unregistered. Are don't be foolish. Forward charge only will be applicable. Are you clear? 2 days, 2 days back, one of my client came and asked this question only to me. Okay, sir, you are telling reverse charge there. What if reverse happens? Then I told reverse only will happen. Reverse happens means from reverse charge it will become forward charge. That only is reverse, no? Simple. That's how you can easily remember. Okay? And now, in case of reverse charge, as I told, government has notified some goods or services. Can any one of you tell me what are the goods which are notified by the government? Which are applicable for reverse charge? 4 marks question. That's why I'm asking you. Come on. What are the goods which are notified by the government which are liable for reverse charge? ఆమెను అడగడం కాదు, నువ్వు చెప్పు. ఎగ్జామ్ నువ్వు కూడా రాస్తున్నావు కదా, మళ్ళీ ఎగ్జామ్లో అడిగినావు అనుకో, మాల్ ప్రాక్టీస్ అని బయటకు తోచేస్తారు. చలో, సింపుల్. ఐ టెల్ యూ హౌ టు రిమెంబర్. దేర్ ఆర్ లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గూడ్స్. లిజన్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. క్యాష్యూ నట్స్, కాజు, రా కాటన్, సిల్క్, ఓకే, tendu leaves, forest timber. Tendu leaves అంటే this బీడీ wrapper leaves ma. Yes, tobacco leaves. Okay, then I'll give you the list, don't worry. I'll show you, I'll display the list, you need not worry. I'll tell you how to remember also. Then comes your waste and scrap, and lastly lottery. Now sir, how to remember, sir? I'll tell you. Listen carefully. I have taken you to the slide. Listen. I'll tell you how to remember. For a good and healthy body, eat cashew nuts. Yes? You can use cotton to close your ears during your winter. If you don't do this, okay, and if you go for tobacco, smoking, yes, beady wrapper leaves and all will come. Okay, your body will become waste and scrap. They will have to burn the body on the wood. Before burning, first they will put a silk. Silk cloth పెడతారు కదా లాస్ట్ టైం తీసుకో నాయన. No, apart from the sandalwood and they will also put the silk one. I don't know whether you have seen or not. Yes, they'll cover the body with the silk cloth. Silk yarn, you can remember. Lastly, lottery. Your body will not even be sold for auction. Khatam. That's how you remember. All the products you can easily remember. See, I too follow the same technique. For telling in the class also, I do the same thing. Cashew nut, strong and healthy body. Cotton for winter and all. Otherwise, if you go and smoke, what will happen? Body will become waste and scrap. They'll have to burn using the forest timber. They'll put a silk yarn on that. Your body will not even be sold for auction in lottery. Khatam, over. These are the notified goods. No other goods are there which are liable for reverse charge. Are you clear about this? Easy. Then there are various services which are liable for reverse charge. You tell me at least services which are liable for reverse charge. Director services, very good. Next. Advocate, legal services, very good. Next. Security services, beautiful. 3 over. Next. Sponsorship services. Renting of immovable property, very good. Next. 5 over. Next. Next. Try to remember a musician. Composer, yes, music director, film artist, etc., who provide copyrights to the other person. Yes. Next. GDA, joint development agreements. GTA you are saying. Okay. Goods transport agency, very good. Next. Since GTA came, next another one. Renting of motor vehicles. Then leasing of land above 30 years, for more than 30 years. These all will come under our services. And then insurance, don't forget, amendment is there. Insurance services, correct or not? These all. Apart from that, government services, that is services provided by government to any business entity. Business entity is liable to pay GST on RCM. So let's see all those services I have listed out. Just I am going to read the side heading, rest all you know. Goods Transport Agency, check whether we discussed all these things. Goods Transport Agency we discussed. Legal services, arbitral tribunal, yes. Sponsorship, no one told sponsorship. Someone told, Cheppino, okay, very good. Next, government services, I only told. Director services, he told. Next, insurance, I only told just now. Next, recovery agent, none of us told. Now at least we are learning. Next, copyright transfer, I told. Then, this also, none of us told. Overseeing committee services. What is overseeing committee? RBI appoints a group of members to check whether there is need for increase or decrease in the reverse and reverse repo rates. Repo and reverse repo rates. For that, they form a committee. That committee is called overseeing committee. Okay. Next, DSA services. DSA means direct selling agent. If you go to malls and all, if you have seen, many people will come and ask you, sir, SBI credit card gavala. Yes, those people are called direct selling agents. Next, business facilitator services. Yes, then next one, security services. This also we discussed. Developmental rights, just now. JDA we have just now discussed. Long-term lease also we discussed. Renting of residential dwelling. She told immovable property. It includes residential and commercial. Okay, next, last one. Lending of securities under the securities lending scheme. These all are now covered under reverse charge, and it is sufficient if you remember 8 of them, because questions are being asked not more than 4 marks. List out 4 goods and 4 services only which are liable for reverse charge. Directly they are asking. So when you are, sometimes they are asking you, list out at least 8 services which are liable to reverse charge. So let's once again revise. Instead of going to the next slide immediately, tell me, first one. Tell. I am talking of services only, not goods. Tell. GTA services, legal services, renting of immovable property. Next. Director services, Direct selling agent services. What is that? Overseeing committee services. Insurance agent services. Security, you are forgetting building security. Security services, copyright transfer. Next, residential dwellings over, already immovable property over. Long-term lease of land about 30 years, these all. Now we have already come across 10. Rest all happily you can. Government services we forgot. Correct or not? These all are there. So let's see one by one. So 8 points is more than enough. You need not remember everything and don't waste your time. Are you clear? That's called smart way of preparing for the exam. Now you did hard work. Now just you have to do the smart work. You will pass the exam. Don't worry. Now, this is where amendment is there, ma. Taxation of specific services, that is your GTA, and renting of motor vehicles. I told you just now, because why there is an amendment here? Because there is a change in the rate. The 12% got removed, no? Yes, all of them came under 5%. But some of them went to 18% also. So that is the reason why there is a change in this one. What is that? I already discussed that. When in case of GTA, two methods of paying the taxes there for GTA. What will happen if GTA has opted for forward charge? Tell. If GTA did not avail ITC, 5%. GTA availed ITC, 18%. Earlier it was 12. This is the amendment. Okay. Next, if GTA did not opt for forward charge, they opted only for reverse charge. Straight away, 5% the recipient will pay. Clear? Same way. Now, with regard to renting of motor vehicles, see there in the renting of motor vehicles category, the supplier is not a body corporate, but the recipient is a body corporate. So, say for example, I am having my car. I gave my car to, say, Deloitte company. So now what will happen? I am a non-body corporate. I am an individual other than body corporate. But the recipient is a body corporate. Now what will happen? See there. GST is directly payable by the recipient only under reverse charge, which is 5%. Whereas now if reverse happens, obviously tax also reverse will happen. What will happen? If I'm availing the input, I'll pay 18% in forward charge. If I'm not availing input, 5% is what I will pay as a GST. That is what is there in the slide. Understood about this? Yes. So with this, section 9 is over, my dear. Then we will go to the important aspect, section 10. Come on. Instead of me explaining, you have to tell me about composition scheme. Chalo, meer chepte nenu nerskunta. Please cheppandi. One by one. First, I'll ask you questions. At least like that we will revise. Composition scheme is applicable to dash. Very good. Small taxpayers. Now when it is a small taxpayers, who is a small taxpayer? Jaldi bolo. The aggregate, aggregate turnover does not exceed 1.5 CR. Or in special category states, it is 75 lakhs. How many special category states? There are, for composition scheme, 8 special category states are there. Remember that. Sir, what are those 8, sir? I'll tell you. Manstum. You should remember. MANSTUMM. Manstum you should remember. Okay. What all will form part of Manstum? M stands for Manipur. A. I know you will tell. Wantedly. That is why I asked. Not Assam, it is Arunachal Pradesh in composition scheme. Please come out of that kind of the issue. A does not stand for Assam in composition scheme. A stands for Arunachal Pradesh. Yes. Sikkim. T. Correct. Tripura. U. Uttarakhand. No, don't say Uttar Pradesh. Yogi Adityanath will come with bulldozer. Chalo. MM. Manipur. Meghalaya. Manipur already first point you only told. You are only forgetting. Yes. So please be careful. As I told, Manstum. MANSTUM. S T N is Nagaland. Huh. MANSTUMM. That way you remember 8 category of special category states are there. Jammu Kashmir 1.5 CR only. It is not a special category state. Sikkim 1.5 CR 75 lakhs. Assam, be careful. Don't unnecessarily get confused. Okay, chalo. The next one what I wanted to ask you is this composition scheme under section 10 mandatory scheme or an optional scheme? Okay. If a person wants to go to composition scheme, what he has to do? Formality. Formality, what he has to do? First, you should inform the government. That is the main formality, because simple ma, if you don't inform the government of you going for composition scheme, you will be automatically in the regular scheme. So it's not a joke that I told first you inform the government, not a joke. You have to file a form. For that, you have to go and file a form. CMP01 form is there, composition scheme. And that has to be done on dash day of the financial year. You can opt for composition scheme only from the first day of the financial year. Now to go for composition from first day, the last day to file is 31st of March. So last day of the preceding financial year, you have to make an application to go for composition from the next financial year. Okay. Now we told 150 lakhs or 75 lakhs. What is that? Aggregate turnover. Now when you should check the aggregate turnover? Current year aggregate turnover or preceding financial year? Preceding financial year you have to check. Very good. Next. The person who is opting for composition scheme, can he shift to regular scheme in the middle of the year? In the middle of the year, can he come to regular scheme? Answer is yes. But can he come from regular to composition in the middle of the year? No. Why? No doubt. Now don't say government will get the money. Yes, government will get the money. That is why it is allowing you to shift from composition to regular in the middle of the year. That's a logic only. But actual logic is, as he told, if you want to go to composition scheme, you should have applied by 31st March of the last year. Now in the middle of the year, you cannot. That is why shifting from regular to composition is not allowed. But composition to regular is allowed. No doubt. Okay. Now, the person opting for composition scheme cannot do dash. No. Cannot make interstate supply. Can he make interstate purchase? Answer is yes. Similarly, a manufacturer of tobacco, manufacturer of ice cream, pan masala, aerated drinks, fly ash bricks, earthen or roofing tiles, these people cannot opt for composition scheme. Okay, I told you manufacturers of these. What if they are trader? Trader can go for composition scheme. They are not covered under this concept. One exam question also came in last mock test papers. If you see, you will get this point. Next, very good. What is the rate of composition scheme? If you are in composition scheme, what is the rate? Trader and manufacturer 1%. Restaurant service provider 5%. So 2.5 and 2.5. Right. Can a person who opted for composition scheme avail input tax credit? He cannot avail input tax credit. Can he charge a tax from his customers? No, he has to pay it on his own because it is a very low percentage. He cannot charge it from the customers at all. Right. Next. Can this person who opted for composition scheme issue a tax invoice? He cannot issue tax invoice because he is not charging. It is sufficient if you issue a bill of supply. Are you clear? Okay. What about other service providers other than restaurant services? Can they opt for composition scheme or not? Come on. Can they opt for composition scheme? The persons who are providing services other than restaurant services, if their turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 50 lakhs, they can opt for composition scheme in this year. Are you clear? And that is by virtue of notification number 2/2019 and section 10 subsection 2 will come into picture. 2 and 2A both will come into picture. Are you clear about this? And such person also cannot avail the input tax credit. Such person also cannot make interstate supplies, but he can make interstate purchases. Correct? He should not be a manufacturer of so and so. Obviously, he is not, because he is a service provider. And what is the rate of tax he has to pay? 6% on the first supplies made by him. Now, when I say first supplies, what are the first supplies? Starting from 1st April till he reaches a limit of what? 10% of the turnover or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. Do you remember? Turnover of the earlier previous year or 5 lakhs, whichever is higher. Up to that only he can be in 6%. Once it exceeds this limit, he can't be in 6%. He will become a regular taxpayer. He cannot be a normal taxpayer. Acha, some cases what will happen is the restaurant service provider only will provide other services also. Then what will happen? Come on. When a restaurant service provider also provides other services, what will happen? Simple. I'll tell you. If the turnover does not exceed 50 lakhs, he will pay 6%. Okay? If turnover exceeds 50 lakhs but does not exceed 1.5 CR, then he will pay that 5%. Why? Because he will be now converted as a restaurant service provider. So on the restaurant services only he will pay 5%. On other services, whatever they are providing, he will end up paying 18%. Are you clear, ma? Once again, I am repeating, a restaurant service provider is also providing other services. Okay? If the turnover does not exceed 50 lakhs, they will end up paying 6% on the total value. Like 40 lakhs is the turnover, 6% of that they will pay. If it exceeded 50 lakhs, that means he is losing that 6% option. But it is not exceeding 1.5 CR. That means if he is a restaurant person, on the specified restaurant services he will pay 5%. Other services he will pay 18%. That's how it is. Are you clear? These all are there in the composition scheme. Let's just go through what all we have done. Let's see. First, aggregate turnover should not exceed 1.5 CR or 75 lakhs. But here aggregate turnover, some definition, small change is there. Please see. It includes value of taxable, exempted and export supplies, but excludes. Now, this is one important point. Interest on loans and advances. In the questions they are asking you this only. Please be careful. Similarly, it also excludes value of inward supplies under reverse charge mechanism. This anyhow was there in our normal aggregate turnover definition. Then see the last, that side one. Optional enrollment. So it is not mandatory that you have to be in composition scheme. So even if my turnover does not exceed 1.5 CR, but I want to be in regular scheme, I can be. There is no problem at all. Next one, switching schemes. I told you, switching between the schemes from composition to regular is possible. Regular to composition is not possible. Then 8 special category states I told, Manstam. So please see, Manipur, Manipur, Nagaland, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, next Sikkim, Uttarakhand, I gave you, Madhya Pradesh, Mizoram and Meghalaya. So please be careful. Then eligibility conditions I have mentioned here. Please see, the composition scheme is an optional tax regime for eligible taxpayers. Taxpayers must officially, అది అలవాటు అయిపోతే ఎగ్జామ్లో కూడా అంతే. ఇంకా నాకు డౌటే, నేను ఇన్విజిలేటర్ పట్టుకుంటుంది చూసుకో. Taxpayers must officially inform the government of their intent to opt for this scheme. I have already told. Failure to provide this intimation automatically makes you into the regular scheme. That is why I told you, whatever I asked you a question or whatever point I told, it is not a joke. Inform the government is not a joke. If you are taking it as a joke, it will become serious for you. So please be careful. Next, switching between the schemes I have already told. Taxpayers can switch between switch from composition to regular scheme in the middle year, but not from regular to composition scheme in the middle of the year. Then transition, last one, switching from composition to regular scheme allows the taxpayers to avail input tax credit, because if he is going from regular to composition, he can't avail. Composition to regular, yes, from there onwards he can avail the input. Then some more conditions we have mentioned. Supply, he can't make interstate supply, I was telling you, same points. Ineligible manufacturers, who are they? Manufacturers of, come on, just now I told, pan masala, tobacco, ice cream, aerated water, certain bricks, tiles, etc. Then cannot collect GST from the recipient, nor he can claim input tax credit also. Then PAN based opt-in. What do you mean by PAN based opt-in? Listen, I have 2 registrations in Hyderabad. One office I registered in SR Nagar, one office I registered in Abits. Now what will happen? GST number will have 15 digits. First 2 are state code. Next 10 are PAN number. So it means it is having same PAN number. Now when it has same PAN number, okay, I opted for composition in SR Nagar. Can I opt for regular scheme in Abits? Answer is no, because in the same state I cannot do. If it is in the different state, yes, I can do. In the same state, if I have same more than one registration, if I opted for composition in one of the branch, all the branches I have to go for composition only. There is no other option of going to regular. But instead, I have an office, one in Telangana, one in Andhra Pradesh. Telangana branch I opted for composition. Andhra Pradesh I went for regular. Can I go? Answer is yes. Are you clear about this one? Then reverse charge mechanism, obviously he cannot pay any tax, collect any tax, rather he himself has to pay. Then advantages, you have lower rate of tax, simplified returns. One very important, once you are registered under GST, you have to pay, you have to file the returns annually, monthly or quarterly using QRMP scheme. But if you have opted for composition scheme, it is sufficient if you pay if you file only once in a year. That too, there is a date change. Are you aware of this? Earlier, composition scheme people had to file GSTR number 4 by 30th April of the next financial year. That has now increased to 30th of June. Now it is no more 30th of April, it is 30th of June. Please be careful. Okay, then next, as I told, only bill of supply has to be issued, not tax invoice. And I have mentioned the rates also. You can check. Trader and manufacturers 1%, and restaurant service provider it is 5%. Then service providers under other composition scheme. Now what will happen? Their turnover, I told, no, should not exceed 50 lakhs. They can supply the services up to 10% of the turnover or 5 lakh rupee, whichever is higher. After that, automatically they will come to the regular scheme. Understood? That's what I have mentioned here. Then, as I told, 3% tax is applicable. Sir, you told 6 now. Are was CGST 3, SGST 3. Because that notification is issued by the central tax. They will mention only 3%. State tax circular will come, which will mention again 3%. Understood? So, same points, my eligibility criteria 50 lakhs turnover. And second one is applicability. So, it is applicable to all registered persons other than those who are opting for earlier, that is 10 subsection 1. Next, you have tax payment 6% you have to make, and lastly ITC, you cannot avail the ITC on your goods. Lastly, you should issue bill of supply, you should not issue tax invoice. I have already told. In the bill of supply, now see, you have to mention these words which I told in the second point. Please observe. Mandatory endorsement on the bill of supply. What you should endorse, what you should write. Taxpayer, see there, I have bolded. Tax person paying tax in terms of notification number 2/2019 CTR dated 7 March 2019, not eligible to collect the tax on supplies. That this entire paragraph should be written on your bill of supply. Are you clear? Then applies uniformly to all PANs, which I already told. Next, prohibited from making interstate supplies. You cannot make interstate, but you can purchase from other states. Then inapplicable to casual taxable person or non-resident taxable person. Understood? So with this, the last 1 hour what we were discussing, my dear, yes, we have covered around 13 marks in our GST. Yes, levy and collection we have done 13 marks in our GST. What you do is, you want a break now? Yes. So you want a break now, time is 3:40. Come back by 4 o'clock. Yes, from there, next 2 hours I will not give you the break. Yes, we'll try to complete how much ever is possible. Right. So let's start with the, till the projector gets switched on, let's start with the meaning and scope of supply, which is very important for our exam. Section 7 deals with the concept of supply, because without supply there is no GST at all. First of all, there should be some or the other supply, either supply of goods or supply of service or supply of both should be there. Then only there will be GST, otherwise GST will not be applicable. That's what we know very well. Tell me what all will form part of the definition of supply. Come on, section 7. What all will come under supply definition? Jaldi bolo. Supply includes, tell, sale, exchange, barter, very good, transfer, very good, lease. Okay, next. Okay, that is one thing. Next, second part of the definition. Supply includes importation of services for a consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business, correct or not? It also includes activities mentioned in schedule number 1 without consideration, activities mentioned in schedule 2 either treated as goods or either treated as services, activities mentioned in schedule 3 which are neither treated as supply of goods nor supply of services. Yes. Apart from this, one more thing got added. Supply made by unincorporated association to its members. Nothing but cooperative societies are there. Partnership firms are there. If they make any supply to them, that also will be treated as supply, is what we have learned till now in our definition of supply. Now, before we go to the definition, tell me, what are the differences between exempt supply, nil rated supply? I told you we will discuss this in the coming topic. Exempt supply, nil rated supply, zero rated supply and non-GST supply. Come on. What is the difference between these four? First, exempted means what? Come on, tell. The supply which is completely exempt from tax under section 11. That's called exempted supply. Chalo. Nil rated supply. No. Nil rated. Okay. Nil rated or non-taxable supply is one and the same. No. It is covered under GST but taxable at a nil rate. Don't say zero rate. It is covered under GST but taxable at nil rate. Correct? Then what is zero rated supply then? Zero rated is, no. It is purely for exports. In order to encourage exports, what they do, what the government has done, they have given all relaxations. Correct or not? So exports are always zero rated. They are taxable supplies, but they are taxable at zero rate. Then what is non-GST supply? Tell. Simple. Just now we discussed, which is outside the purview of GST, like our alcoholic liquor for human consumption. One more new word I told. Undenatured extra neutral alcohol, which is the raw alcohol form. Okay. Next, petroleum products are outside the scope of GST. So those all will form part of your non-GST supplies. Understood? So this is the differences between exempted supply, nil rated supply, zero rated supply and a non-GST supply. Okay. In the old regime, the taxable event was two things more. If you are manufacturing, the taxable event was manufacture for levying excise duty. If you are selling the goods, VAT, value added tax was there. Yes. If you are rendering services, service tax was applicable. So these many taxable events were there. But when GST law came, since it is one nation, one market, one tax, they also replaced all these with one word. That one word is nothing but our supply only, which is completely dealt in section 7. Are you clear about this? Yes. So quickly we'll go through all the definitions in section 7. Right. So if you see, I have given you first a taxable event. Taxable event is nothing but supply in our GST, but in the old laws, there were various taxable events which was leading to confusion. Hence, they have converted into a simple law, which is nothing but our GST law. Now, as I was telling you just now, nil rated supply, exempted supply, zero rated supply, and non-GST. Very clearly, with the help of the images I have given you, it will become easy if you just visualize this and write in the exam. Nil rated, like our agriculture produce. Similarly, exempted supply, our milk, vegetables, fruits, all these things. Coming to zero rated supply. If you see in zero rated, I have given one ship also, which is, cargo is being loaded onto the ship, nothing but exports. Yes, they are zero rated. Lastly, I have given non-GST supply. Your favorite drink and all is there. So alcoholic liquor for human consumption and your petroleum products are also there. Okay. So these are some types of supply which they are asking you in the exam. Please be careful. Then we have come to the definition of supply which we were discussing just now. So 5 parts of the definition are there. Let's see one by one. Section 7 of the CGST Act broadly specifies supply includes all forms of supply of goods or services or both made or agreed to be made for consideration, obviously for consideration, by a person in the course or furtherance of. So mandatorily it should be in the course or furtherance of business. Then next, activities involving members. I told you, unincorporated association to its members. That and all will come under supply. Then importation of services, which I was mentioning. Importation of services, but it should be happen purely for consideration, irrespective of whether it is in the course or furtherance of business. Then supply without consideration, which I was telling you, activities mentioned in schedule number 1 will form part of your supply. Then activities mentioned in schedule number 2, which are either treated as supply of goods or supply of services. Then you have schedule 3. I told activities mentioned in schedule 3 are neither treated as supply of goods nor supply of services. So here you have government notified some services based on recommendations of the GST Council. Similarly, one more service is there where government only acts as a public authority. That will not be treated as supply at all. So for that, they have given you this one. Now, summary of that entire definition I have given you in the circular way. Number 1, supply made for consideration. Next, schedule 2. Of course, before that, the right side one, supply without consideration, nothing but activities mentioned in schedule number 1. Then you have schedule number 2, which are either treated as supply or of goods or supply of services. And lastly, you have importation of services. So if you observe, I told you, importation must happen for consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. This is a summary of our entire definition, which you can easily write, because they are asking you define the term supply and what are the types of supply. The types I have already mentioned just now. Okay. Then now let's see what are the activity or what are the supplies which are covered under schedule number 1, which are made without consideration. First one in that is permanent transfer or disposal of business assets. Now what do you mean by business asset? Assets which are purchased for the purpose of carrying on the business is called as business assets. Over second. Now listen carefully. I purchased some assets for my office. Okay. I availed input tax credit also on that. Now what I did is I have donated it to a public charitable institution. Permanently I am transferring. Those activities are the activities which are done without consideration. Why? Because when I transfer it to a charitable activity, I don't charge any single rupee noma. So obviously it is an activity without consideration. Hence it is treated as a supply. Now whether it is taxable or not, we will discuss later. As of now, whether it is a supply or not only I am discussing. Then second one, if you see supply made between whom, my dear? Related or distinct persons. Who is a related person? Employer, employee. Best example. Who is a distinct person? Simple. I was telling you just now before the break also. If I have one branch in Telangana, one branch in Andhra, these both and I have taken separate registrations for both of them, then these both will be treated as distinct persons. So supplies made within distinct person also will be treated as supply. Are you clear? Then the third category, employer employee, as I told just now, employer employee up to a value of 50,000 rupees. Why they bought that value of 50,000? In our income from other sources up to 50,000 it is treated as exempt. Do you remember? That's why anything above 50,000 rupees will be treated as supply. Last one, stock transfer. Any transfer which happens from one branch to other branch is treated as stock transfer. Acha, anyone have already attempted the exam in last January 2026? All are going to write for the first time. Now let me tell you, or if you have already written, no problem, nothing to worry. Don't feel ashamed of raising your hand. We all passed for second or third attempt only. No one passed in the first attempt. And moreover, if you are writing for the second time, you should feel privileged that, hey, I got a chance to write CA exam once again. For that reason, don't have a, task of failing. Don't be committed to fail. My intention of telling is only to motivate you. That's all. Okay. Not with an intention to make you write again and again. Write it and close it off. But what I am trying to tell you is, those who wrote in Jan 2026, this point of stock transfer was asked in the exam. That is the reason I asked you this question. In January 2026, suggested answers or question paper also you download. In that very clearly one question, first question in GST is about this stock transfer only. One point, of course not the entire question, one point he asked from stock transfer. So please be careful. Such kind of direct questions also might come in the exam. Okay, if time permits, definitely I'll show you that question also from the past exam question paper which I have. Okay, next. So stock or branch transfer also will be treated as supply. So these are the four supplies which are covered under schedule number 1. So what is schedule number 1 covering? Number 1, permanent transfer or disposal of business assets provided ITC has been availed on it. Second, transfer happening between whom? Related or distinct persons. Third, employer-employee transfers. And lastly, stock or branch transfer. These all happen without consideration and still they will be treated as supply because they are covered under activities which are mentioned under schedule number 1. I need not explain you who is a related person, who is a distinct person. For you, that image is sufficient. I have branches are in different states. Different states I have registered. All those states I will be treated as a distinct person. Yes. Now comes something called principal agent relationship. Now what is a principal agent relationship? Obviously there should be a principal. That principal should give authority to the agent to act on behalf of the principal. And listen carefully, this principal agent relationship which is covered under activity schedule number 1 covers only goods, not services. This activity covers only goods, not services. Here I have mentioned that point very clearly. Goods on the right hand side, if you see, goods only. Second point I gave, key consideration you have to take is only goods. Are you clear? And when will that principal agent relationship get established? It will get established only when the agent sells the goods on behalf of principal and issues the invoice in the name of the agent, not in the name of principal. If you give the invoice in the name of principal, you are not a agent of the principal. That is very, very important here. And those also are covered under activities mentioned in schedule number 1, apart from the first 4 what we discussed. Then what are the activities which are mentioned in schedule number 2? Now listen, how to remember them I'll tell you. How to analyze those points I'll tell. The activities that are mentioned in schedule 2, what they are saying is they will be either supply of goods or supply of services. So simple, what logic you can remember is, listen, go back to Sale of Goods Act. Just visualize, in Sale of Goods Act we discuss one point for transfer of risk. When will risk get transferred? Hey, ownership gets transferred, not possession. Risk will transfer only when ownership is transferred, not possession. That is why I asked this question to you. Because once ownership gets transferred, you are the owner. So you only have to bear the risk of loss. Same way, using the same logic of Sale of Goods Act here, Whether a supply is treated as supply of goods or supply of services depends on transfer of the ownership. Like for example, this remote is there. This remote has been sold to me. Tell. Supply of goods or supply of services? Supply of goods. Second example, this remote was given to me for using it in the class. Supply of services, because I was only given the right to use it. I was not given complete ownership on it. Did you understand? Same way, this building is taken by CMS on rent. Supply of service. It is not supply of good, because immovable property can never be a good. Simple logic, common sense. Understood about this? This iPhone was given to me for use. Supply of goods. Supply of goods or supply of service? Supply of service. If it was sold to me from the iPhone shop, it becomes supply of goods. That's what is there in schedule number 2. So I'll just take you through various points. The headings we will read and we will understand whether it is supply of goods or services based on the logic what I have told you. Clear? Now, first one. Very clearly, he is only telling transfer of title in the goods. Come on, tell. He is telling title means ownership only. No, ownership has been transferred. That means it is a supply of good. See the second one, transfer of right without a title. Supply of services. Just now I took the examples already. Third, transfer of title under agreement to sell. Supply of goods. Ultimately, it is a transfer of title, he is saying. In future, the property definitely will pass. Then, lease, tenancy, easement, license to occupy the land. I took the example of building, but even if you are occupying the land also, it will become supply of services only, not supply of goods. Similarly, on the right side, you have job work services. Any idea what you mean by job work? Painting. One more. Job work, I'll tell you. Okay, I'll take your example also little bit, but not completely. I'll actually call it as a work order, works contract instead of job work. Now instead, I'll give you one example of job work. You please tell me first. Are you aware that Bata shoes or Bata slippers are not manufactured by Bata company? We just have the label Bata, that's all. They get manufactured by some other manufacturer. The Bata company gives the contract to that manufacturer. The Bata company specifies, I want the shoe design like this. It should be for gents. It should be for ladies. It should be for children. Yes, school shoes, white, canvas, leather. These all Bata company gives the specifications to them. Based on that, the manufacturer manufactures, and later on Bata company affixes the label on it. That entire concept is called as job work. The Bata company is giving it for job work to the job worker. Now, is Bata company transferring the ownership there? Yes, answer is no. It is not transferring the ownership to the job worker. It is only transferring the possession and take back the possession from them. Hence, it will become what, my dear? Supply of services. Next, lease or letting out of the building. Already we discussed. Come on. Supply of services. And lastly, supply to or supply by members to unincorporated association. Come on. Now you don't know whether it is a good or a service they are going to supply. If they are transferring the title, tell supply of goods. If they are not transferring the ownership, come on, it will become supply of service. Everyone, it became easy now. So any question from schedule number 2, will you be able to answer or not? And now then answer the next slide. Come on. Works contract service, fast. Supply of services. Yes, your painting and all will come here, madam. Next, transfer of business assets. Come on, you are transferring the assets directly. That means ownership you are transferring. Hence, it will become supply of goods. Supply of food and drinks in the restaurant. It is a restaurant service. Next, goods used for private use. Come on, I purchase a car for my purchase use. What you call from the showroom. Wait, I'll come to that point. I purchased a car from the showroom. Tell. Supply of goods. Now, The car what I purchased, I gave it to my employees for their use. Nothing but our value of perquisite motor car facility. Best example. Did you understand? Yes. Next. That's why it becomes supply of services. Then some more. Goods forming part of business assets. Like I have all these. In that process, this remote also I sold. Supply of goods. Next. Renting of immovable property. Already over that point. Next. Okay. So these all are your services or goods which are covered under Schedule 2. Now Schedule 3. What I told in Schedule 3, the goods or services which are notified by the government on the recommendations of GST councils are neither treated as supply of goods nor treated as supply of services. Now see this one. Services by employee to employer in the course of employment only. If he is doing any other personal service, then it will be liable to GST. Okay? Like, you might ask me, sir, what kind of personal service an employee can do to the employer? Like, for example, employee is also, now employee is working with the organization as say, our own, coordinator. Okay? Now, this fellow, I'm not talking of coordinator. This employee, what happens with this employee is, this employee is also having, a knowledge of repairing the electrical units. So what he does, after the time of employment is over, he goes personally and provides those services. He repairs his fan, tube light, he does the fitting and all. That is called personal purpose. That will be liable to GST, but the employee-employer relationship services will not be liable to GST. Did you understand? That is why here one point I am writing there in the second line, you see, any services rendered by employee to their employer in the course of or in relation to their employment are completely excluded. And now this recognizes employer-employee relationship as distinct from commercial activity. So if he does any other personal activity, obviously it will be liable to GST. Then see the second one, what he gave, services by any court or tribunal. Just now we discussed this even in reverse charge also. If you remember, arbitral tribunal services. Next, duties of public functions. I don't know, useless fellows are there. MLAs and MPs, they don't do any work at all. So all those are still exempted. Anyhow, they don't do any work. So taxing it is of no use. So directly they have put it under exempt category. Okay, last. Funeral services also. Now why why specifically funeral services? You should understand this point. Because in our exemptions list, we have something called healthcare services. Now slightly, that exemption also I am going to cover now. Just listen. Healthcare services includes services in any recognized system of medicine in India, which includes diagnostic services, which includes hair transplantation services, which includes plastics or cosmetic surgery services, which also includes cord blood bank services, other than preservation of stem cells. It also includes transportation of a patient from one medical clinical establishment to another clinical establishment for diagnosis like X-ray, MRI, etc. etc. Lastly, it also includes ambulance services, which includes even this transportation of deceased person from a hospital, from the clinical establishment to his place, or directly to the mortuary, or directly to the graveyard. That is the reason specifically they have given this point. Funeral services are completely exempted from GST. Are you clear about this? And moreover, practically also the dead body can't come and pay GST on the day. Come on, I want to levy GST on you. Get up and first pay GST, then only I'll put mud on you. That's not possible. So that is the reason, to avoid all that nonsense, they have removed it directly from the taxation list and put it in the Schedule 3 category. Clear? Now, further more services are there in Schedule number 3. If you see sale of land and building, it becoming a immovable property. Immovable property is not covered under the definition of goods, which we have seen just now. Hence, it is not liable to GST. Then you have actionable claims. What do you mean by actionable claims? Any idea? Insurance compensation. Best example. That is an actionable claim. That actionable claims and all, except few things. What are the few things? I have given already. Actionable claims other than lottery, betting, gambling are excluded. That means lottery, gambling, betting are taxable. Okay. Then comes your grant of, this point they are asking you in the exam. Grant of license by state government for alcohol sale. Now listen. Actually what? Alcoholic liquor for human consumption is outside the purview of GST. Just now I told undenatured. Extra neutral alcohol is also outside the scope of GST. Now. A state government to run a wine shop, they have to give the license. Are you clear? Now that license services is also exempted from GST. That's why he gave the activity of granting a license by the state government for the sale of alcoholic liquor for human consumption is specifically excluded. That is why I kept 3 bottles also. Beautiful bottles there. Don't get tempted to drink them. Okay. Then activities notified by the government are also given as exclusions. That is, government, when it will mention those activities only on the basis of recommendations of GST Council. Here we need not discuss anything much. Now comes another important aspect, section 8. Composite and mixed supply. Very, very important. They are asking you what is the difference between a composite and a mixed supply, or sometimes they will give you a question. They will frame up one question and give you what is the tax treatment of this transaction in this scenario. You tell me what is the difference between composite and mixed supply. First, composite supply, what will happen? Come on, when can you say a supply as a composite supply? When there are more than 2 supplies or 2 or more supplies which are naturally bundled. That is very important. That word is very important. Naturally bundled. That means they should not be forcefully bundled. Naturally they should be bundled in the course or furtherance of business. That is called as composite supply. Where? In composite supply, one important aspect is there called principal supply. Why you should know about principal supply? Because the taxation of composite supply always depends upon principal supply. So now that principal supply, section 2 clause 90 of the CGST Act very clearly defines what you mean by principal supply. Principal supply means it is a predominant supply to which all other supplies are ancillary. That's called as principal supply is what the law is saying. And now please understand, in composite supply, always the entire supply will be taxable based on the rate which is applicable to the principal supply. So best example, hotel accommodation with breakfast complimentary. No hotel will provide lunch complimentary, see, because cost is more. They provide only complimentary breakfast. Now, if you as an individual go and stand outside the restaurant, give me complimentary breakfast, he'll treat you as a beggar. As simple as that. So that will never happen, because complimentary breakfast is only when you book the hotel accommodation. That is why such kind of supplies will be treated as composite supply, and the rate of GST applicable will be the rate which is applicable for the principal supply. What about mixed supply? In a mixed supply, again there are 2 or more supplies but not naturally bundled. I won't use the word forcefully bundled. Forcefully is only for our understanding, to know what you mean by naturally bundled. That's all. So 2 or more supplies are not naturally bundled. So this generally happens during Diwali time or Christmas time. Generally what happens, a sweet shop will bring all chocolates, pastries, cakes, sweets, everything into one booty. Correct or not? One basket, and that basket they will sell it for a rate. Now, how to determine the taxability of all those items? Whichever item has the highest rate, that rate will be applicable for the entire basket. That is called as what, my dear? Mixed supplies. Clear about this? And now, tell me the difference between composite and mixed supply. Bolo, jaldi. In composite supply, Yeah, more than one service are naturally bundled. Mixed supply, they are not naturally bundled. Second, in composite supply, wait, there is a principal supply, but in mixed supply there is no such principal supply. Third, in composite supply, the rate of tax will be the rate which is applicable for the principal supply, but in mixed supply the rate will be the highest rate of all such goods. Right? Clear? And now tell me, in many shops, of course, we human beings, we get tempted. Buy one jeans, get one jeans free. Or buy Santur soap, get Santur mummy free. That will not happen. Get a toothbrush free. Don't go and ask that. They'll slap you. Okay? Get a toothbrush free. Buy a toothpaste. Get a tongue cleaner free. That's how it happens. Correct or not? Yes? Similarly, what is that? One more thing I was seeing recently. Buy, no. Buy this detergent soap. Get liquid free. One best thing I ordered in Insta when I was seeing that Insta reel. Bella Vita perfume. I don't know whether you have purchased Bella Vita perfume. 3 perfumes will come. That I ordered 3 perfumes. I got one miniature also free. Miniature means one small tester kind of things. That is a new variety. That is promotion of their product. Now, my question is whether this one buy one get one free or whatever free you are getting, or 3 things you are getting for a discounted price. Yes? Buy 3 at the cost of 2. Is this a composite supply or a mixed supply? Composite or a mixed supply? This is a debatable point actually. That is there in your ICAI material also. Whether it is a composite supply or a mixed supply. Come on, tell quickly. Bolo beta. Bella Vita perfume. Cheppandi. ఏంది ఆన్సర్ చూస్తున్నావా? టెల్. లిజన్ కేర్ఫుల్లీ. దిస్ బై వన్ గెట్ వన్ ఫ్రీ or buy toothpaste get one soap free, etc., etc., it all depends on how the products are being sold. How, whether they are naturally bundled or forcefully brought together, you have to check. Based on that only you can conclude whether it is a composite supply or mixed. So in the exams also, what they will ask you is, how will you identify whether it is a composite or a mixed supply? Simple. You have to write, if there is a predominant supply and a principal supply and all other supplies are ancillary supplies, then it will become say, if one or more supplies are not naturally bundled together, that is how you have to answer. In our practice also, 95% of the time we treat it as a mixed supply only instead of treating it as a composite supply. Because why will a toothbrush come along with a soap? Yes, a person can buy a soap, bath and get out. Why he should brush mandatorily? There is nothing like that, no. It can be sold separately also. So it all depends where you are selling it. Are you clear about this one? It all depends in which form of business it is being sold. So based on that you have to decide. Clear? Chalo, let's quickly go through composite and mixed supply. Jalli study this one. A supply made by a taxable person to a recipient comprising of 2 or more supplies of goods or services or both, which are, I have already bolded, naturally bundled. Very clearly I have bolded naturally bundled and are supplied in conjunction with each other in the ordinary course of business. Then one key characteristics I have also bolded. There should be a what supply? Principal supply. Very good. Then mixed supplies. What will happen? Chalo bolo. 2 or more individual supply. See the words I am using. Individual supply of goods or services or any combination thereof made in conjunction with each other by a taxable person but does not constitute a, what ma? Composite supply. Something which is not a composite supply will become a mixed supply. If it is a composite supply, it can never ever become a mixed supply. Yes? Then, taxability of composite and mixed supply have given. The tax liability of composite supply is determined by the tax rate which is applicable to, which we have already discussed. What about mixed supply? Highest of the rates. That's all I have mentioned there. A mixed supply is taxed at the rate of particular supply within the bundle that attracts what? Highest tax liability. For instance, I gave you a package consisting of sweets, chocolates, cakes and dry fruits, where each element can be sold separately. That is why I was telling you, toothbrush can be sold separately. It need not be mandatorily sold with soap. It has no relation at all. That is the reason why they have mentioned. But when it comes to soap, I'll tell you one example where it can become a composite supply. Soap with that one, what is that called? Which you use it to rub. In what is that? What is that? Loofah. Okay, I don't know. That's the reason I'm asking you. Because in our home also there was a discussion. What is this? What is this? Okay, so I was just asking. Before coming to the class, I was asking, what is this called? My wife was telling something else. So I didn't want to take that name. Hence I asked you. You people are the right people to tell. Loofah, na? Okay, right. So that loofah, if it is sold along with the soap or body wash, that becomes a composite supply. That doesn't become a mixed supply. Did you understand now? Because there are some body wash gels. Only when you use with that loofah only, it will give you a lot of foam. Have you seen that? Yes. Otherwise, if you use it with the hand, it will not. I have seen many shower gels which will never give foam at all. If I rub it on the hand, it will not give. But if you use it with that loofah, pink color, green color, whatever color it comes, it will give you a lot of foam. That is why I took this example. Hope you understood the best way. The more better, no one can tell now. Are you clear? So with this, we have completed with the supply concept. Now we will go to the time of supply, where 4 marks question is being asked. Yes. Firstly, I would like to take you through the 4 events in entire GST. GST is dependent completely on 4 events. One is taxable event, which is a supply. Then time you should check. Place you should check. Value you should check. These are the 4 main pointers in GST. Taxable event, time of supply, place of supply, value of supply. 4 events, if you are comfortable, entire GST will become easy. Okay, already in that first event, supply is over. Now we are going to time of supply. Now, in this chapter, you have 2 sections, basically section 12 and section 13. Section 12 is going to talk about time of supply of goods. Section 13 talks about time of supply of services. Time of supply of goods, time of supply of service. And one good thing, you know what? If you learn time of supply of goods, time of supply of services is very easy. Because same points are there even in time of supply of services, except for 1 or 2 change. Yes? But first subsection, that is 12 subsection 1, there 13 subsection 1, slightly different. 1 and 2, both. 12 subsection 1 and 2, 13 subsection 1 and 2, slightly different. 12 subsection 3, same. 13 subsection 3, same. 12 subsection 4, same. 13 subsection 4, same. 12 subsection 5, same. 13 subsection 5, same. 12 subsection 6, same. 13 subsection 6, same. Khatam. Over. Only thing we have to learn is 12 subsection 1 and 2 properly, 13 subsection 1 and 2 properly. So let's see what is the time of supply of goods. Before I go to the slide, tell me what could be the time of supply of goods. Come on. And why should we learn time of supply? Only one thing, time of supply of goods and services are required to be learned only to know which rate of GST is applicable. That's all. Because suddenly the government might change in the middle of the year, like how we changed it on 22nd September 2025. It removed completely 12% and put most of the goods in 5% and some of the services in 18%. Am I right or not? So that is the reason why we should know the time of supply of goods, time of supply of service. Tell me what could be time of supply of goods you would have learned? No, fast. Date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. If invoice is not issued within the time limit, date of supply of goods are nothing but date of payment or date of supply, whichever is earlier. Correct or not? These kind of things, completion of event or date of payment, whichever is earlier. These kind of concepts only are there. Let's see one by one. Along with examples, I'll take you. It will become very, very simple for you. Now see here, mainly time of supply, section 12, subsection 2. What he gave me? Directly date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Now what do you mean by date of invoice? It refers to the actual date on which the invoice has been issued by the supplier. Or, listen, or it can be the last date as per section 31 subsection 1 on which the invoice has to be issued. Now 31 subsection 1 gives you various circumstances, like when there is a delivery of goods, when there is no delivery of goods, when there is a continuous supply of goods. These all cases, the 31 subsection 1 is giving you lot of knowledge on that. Yes, let's see one by one. Extent of supply, this is okay, right. This is what I was telling you, the last date from which the invoice has to be issued as per section 31 subsection 1. What is the last date? See there. When the supply involves movement of goods, and based on this, questions are being asked. Next we have a practical question on this one. This slide, completely all different instances I have given you different questions. Let's focus, it becomes easy for us. Chalo. When supply involves movement of goods, what will happen? Then the invoice must be issued before or at the time of removal of such goods. Before, nothing but on or before removal of the goods, you have to issue the invoice. Why? Because supply is involving movement of goods. That is the time within which you have to issue the invoice. If supply does not involve movement of goods, now what will happen? If supply does not involve movement of goods, you please issue the invoice on or before the time of delivery. So whenever you are delivering, you issue. Now many of them might have confusion. Sir, what is the difference between involving movement of goods, not involving movement of goods? Any idea you people have? Or you are just learning because it is there in the law? Listen. You have in your Sale of Goods Act, sale and agreement to sell. Yes? What is the difference between sale and agreement to sell? In sale, what happens? Transfer of ownership takes place immediately. Agreement to sell. You enter into an agreement today to sell goods at a future date. Correct or not? That's called agreement to sell. Am I right or not? Now here also same. Supply involve movement of goods means now only you are selling the goods. That is why you issue the invoice now. Did you understand? Supply does not involve movement of goods means you are agreeing today to supply goods at a future date. Whenever future you are going to deliver, issue the invoice. That is the meaning. Did you understand? Supply involving movement and not involving movement. Yes. Then see the third one. Continuous supply of goods. Continuous supply means, listen, CMS Institute requires white papers because they want to conduct the exam. Hence they went to a supplier. You please continuously supply. Every month you give us 10 bundles. Or you might see water cans which are there outside our classroom. Every day please supply 10 water cans because students come and go. Now what will happen? Since every day this is happening, this becomes a continuous supply. Now in case of continuous supply, when the invoice has to be issued, now listen, the water can fellow will come and give you bill once in 10 days, once in 5 days. Madam, please release the bill. That's called running claim. Or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. So invoice has to be issued when a running claim is raised, or date of issue of invoice, date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier, the invoice has to be issued. Lastly, very important, goods sent on approval. This also they have taken the concept from Sale of Goods Act only. Section 24 of the Sale of Goods Act very clearly says the ownership will get transferred only when the buyer gives his approval. Here also, when the goods are sent on approval basis, when will the invoice be required to be issued? Only when buyer gives acceptance. So see there, within 6 months, for that they have mentioned, within 6 months from the date of removal or approval, whichever is earlier. Within 6 months, they are giving 6 months time. Any idea why they are giving 6 months time? There's a logic behind this one. Why 6 months time? Any idea? The idea is, no. Remember this point carefully. Already you would have learned, but you are unable to link it up. That's all. The idea is 6 months means 180 days. Somewhere now you are able to link up. Come on. In ITC, they say input tax credit is available only if the payment is made within 180 days. Do you remember? No. In input tax credit, ITC will be available only if the payment has to be made, only if the payment is made within 180 days. That is why here they are giving you, boss, you please issue the invoice within 6 months from the date of removal or approval, whichever is earlier. Because only if he issues the invoice, you will have the payment also, no? Otherwise, ITC has to be reversed. As simple as that. That's the reason they have given. Now, based on this, shall we do one problem for our exercise? Yes, I have already displayed. Even the answer also I have displayed. But don't look at the answer. As simple as that. I have given this illustration for supply involving movement of goods. I don't want you to see the last column. Okay? That is the answer. That's the reason I'm telling you. Okay? If you are seeing, you are cheating yourself. No problem for me. You are going to write the exam. Test yourself what we have learned. Okay? This entire illustration is when supply involves movement of goods. When supply is involving movement of goods, tell me when the invoice has to be issued. On or before the date of removal of the goods, correct? So, for us, I have given you date of removal, date of invoice, date of payment and date of credit in the books. Why I gave date of payment or credit in the books? Come on. Whenever someone issues a check, yes, what the supplier will do, what the recipient will do, yes, he will credit him in the books of accounts. Before the check gets credited only, immediately they might pass an entry. So, date of payment will be date when the actual payment is made or credit in the books, whichever is earlier. For that only I gave 2. Okay, last one is time of supply. That is the answer column. So, first we will see. See the first situation. Date of removal is 25th August. But see the date of invoice, ma? 31st August. That means invoice is not issued within the time. Listen, when invoice is not issued within the time, you have to check now the date of removal or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Are you clear? When the invoice is not issued within the time. If it is issued, then date of invoice or payment, whichever is earlier. If it is not issued within the time, date of removal or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Now see the first one. Date of removal, 25th August. Tell me, date of payment is what? 5th September or credit is 1st September, whichever is earlier. Which is earlier? 1st September is earlier. Now compare that 1st September with 25th August. First find out date of payment, ma. In that both the dates, whichever is earlier, 1st September. Compare that 1st September with 25th of August, which is earlier, 25th August. See the answer in the last column. Did you get the answer? Now see the second one. Come on, tell me. 25th August is the date of removal. Invoice is issued on 21st August. So date of removal we should not consider. Now date of invoice, then date of payment, tell me. 1st September. 1st September or 21st August, which is earlier? See the answer in the last column. Clear, everyone? See the next one. 25th August is the date of removal. Date of invoice is 31st of August. That means invoice is not issued within the time. Then see the date of payment. 16th August or 1st September. Now 16th August or 25th August, which is earlier? See the answer. Got it or not? Then comes your last one. 25th August is the date of removal. Date of invoice is once again 31st of August. So it is not within the time. Then date of payment you see 4th September or 23rd August, which is earlier. Now the 23rd or 25th, which is earlier. Over. Everyone clear? Now this is when supply is involving movement of goods. What will happen when supply does not involve movement of goods? Come on, tell me. When supply does not involve movement, when should the invoice be issued? Quickly. On or before the date of delivery. So date of removal is not important here. Date of delivery is required. See the columns, date of delivery. Wantedly I gave. Wantedly I gave. In exam also they'll ask you like this only. But date of delivery, date of removal is not required. Date of delivery only is required. Be careful. Then date of invoice, date of payment, date of credit in the books. Come on. First one, date of delivery is 31st October, but invoice is 2nd November. That means it is not within the time. So you have to take 31st October only. Then compare with the date of payment. Come on, 4th November. Which is earlier? 31st of October is earlier. So time of supply is 31st of October. Clear? See the second one. 2nd November. Invoice also 2nd November. Payment 4th November. Now 4th or 2nd, which is earlier? 2nd is the answer. Chalo, next. 3rd November or 2nd November, which is earlier? Should you check like that? Which is earlier? Okay, you can check. Not a problem. Next. 5th November only is the date of payment. So which is earlier? So that is the answer. Last. 10th November is the date of delivery, but invoice is on 12th. So which is earlier? 10th. That is one date. What is the date of payment? 14th November. Yes? What is the earlier date then? 10th. 10th only will be the answer. Clear about this? Yes? Then. Now, we are coming to supplies under reverse charge. Just now we told reverse charge means nothing but recipient will have to pay the tax instead of the supplier. Correct or not? So, in this reverse charge, what happens is, you always have to check whether he received the goods and made the payment or not. Okay? So for that they are saying, please see, the time of supply shall be the earlier of 3 dates. What are the 3 dates? Date of receipt of goods, second, date of payment, and last, 31st day from the date of issue of invoice. Sir, we learned 30th day, sir. You are telling 31st day, sir. My dear, who all learn 30th day, before that they will write one word. The day immediately succeeding the 30th day, which is nothing but 31st day only, no. To avoid that confusion, I made it easy. 31st day from the date of issue of invoice. Everyone clear? And be careful. Question was asked from this area. Please be careful. In Jan 2026 exam, question came from this area. Then, same thing is there. Listen. We can revise even what you call time of supply of services here. Same, except one thing is receipt of goods will not be there because that is a service. So you have to compare date of payment or 61st day from the date of issue of invoice. There it is not 31st day. It is 61st day. Understood? Then, one problem on reverse charge I have given. My dear, please solve this problem quickly. Date of delivery is given, date of invoice is given, date of payment also is given. Now, when you have this date of invoice, directly you cannot compare date of invoice, you have to take 31st day. Now, 31st day of date of 29th August means which date? Can we take 29th September? Because August has 31 days. 29th of September we can take. So, 3 dates. Now, 30th August, 29th September or 1st September, whichever is earlier. 30th August is earlier. So, time of supply is directly 30th August. Clear? Then, next 30th August, again, 1st September he gave. 1st September means 31 day means it will be 1st October. So, 1st October or 30th August or date of payment. 1st September. which is earlier? Which is earlier? 30th August only is earlier again. Correct? Then third situation. 30th August, again, 1st October, 4th August. Be careful, be careful. 4th August. Come on, which is earlier? 4th August only will be the time of supply. Lastly, 20th August or 20th September. Instead of 20th September, what we have to take? 31 day. 21st of October. Ante kada? Next. What is the answer? Answer will be 20th of August only. Clear? Then comes your 12 subsection 4, supply of vouchers. Now, many of you would have got, or have you seen Sodexo coupons? No? Okay. Have you seen Amazon vouchers? No? Book My Show vouchers? Acha, best example. Google Pay scratch card coupons. That at least you should have seen. Right. Now, those vouchers, listen. When you get those vouchers, if you observed, some vouchers will specifically tell for this only you should use. Like if you get Lenskart vouchers only for buying the spectacles, he'll tell specifically. But if you get an Amazon voucher, you can use it for anything. That means supply is not identifiable. But in the first one, supply is identifiable. When supply is identifiable, you know it will be used only for that purpose. So date of issue of voucher only will be the time of supply. Because you already know the rate, no ma. That's why today itself you will be the time of supply. Whereas, if the supply is not identifiable, that means you can use the vouchers for any purpose. Now you don't know whether he will encash it for food, whether he will encash it for any groceries, whether he will encash it for anything. And moreover, every product has its own rate of GST. That is the reason, since it is not possible to determine the exact rate of GST, what the law is saying, if the supply is not identifiable, the date when you redeem the voucher, that will be the time of supply. So don't unnecessarily confuse your mind. Very, very simple. Conceptually you understand. When the supply is identifiable, you know that it is for one product, hence you know the rate. Hence today itself will be the, that is the date of issue of voucher only will be the value of supply. Whereas when you don't know, when the supply is not identifiable, what will happen? The date of redemption of voucher. Clear? Same rule will come even for services. 13 subsection 4, same. We need not again discuss and waste our time. Then 12 subsection 5 and 12 subsection 6. And with regard to supply of vouchers, one problem we will do in 13. Okay? Now, 12 subsection 5 is talking about when the supply is not identifiable as per either 12 subsection 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now 12 subsection 5 says, if return has been filed, then the date of filing of such return will be the time of supply. If no return has been filed, then the date of payment of tax will be the time of supply. So whichever day you are paying the tax, on that day what is the rate applicable? That rate you have to take is what the law is saying. Okay. So see, if you observe, if a return is required to be filed, this one, the time of supply shall be the date of filing of such return. If no return is required to be filed, it also says the date of payment of tax. Same rule even in 13 subsection 5. Then 12 subsection 6. Any additions to the value. Now listen. Supplier supplied some goods to the recipient, but the recipient did not pay it within the time. Hence supplier told, you have to pay along with interest to me or penalty to me. Now what will be the time of supply for that interest or penalty? The time of supply will be the date when he received that interest or penalty. Why like that, sir? Correct. Because, wait. In the questions he is asking you, in the exam questions he is asking you the same thing. What is he asking is, boss, the supplier charged interest of 1200 rupees, but later on he waived off the same. When he waives off that, He is not getting it. When he is not getting it, it is not chargeable to tax at all. That should not be forming part of your taxable supply at all. Are you clear about this? So any interest, any additions in the form of interest, penalty, late fee, anything, the time of supply will be the date when you received such additional amounts. Same logic even in 13 subsection 6. Every one of you clear with this one? This is about your time of supply of goods. Now let's go to time of supply of services. Now what happens in supply of service? You will not have any receipt of goods here, because it is a supply of service. So the time of supply will be simple, two things: date of receipt of date of issue of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier, provided invoice must be issued within the time limit. If invoice is not issued within time limit, date of completion of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier, this will be the time of supply. So let's see one by one. The time of supply of service shall be earlier of what ma? The date of issue of invoice by the supplier or date of receipt of payment, whichever is earlier. Then if invoice is not issued within time limit, what will happen? Please see. If invoice is not issued within time limit, then the time of supply will be date of provision of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Just like how we had date of removal, date of delivery, we took that earlier date. No, same logic here. Instead of removal and all, because it is not good, we have to take date of provision of service. Okay. Now what is the time limit? Time limit he has given in 31 subsection 2 ma, for issue of invoice in respect of services. Till now we have seen issue of goods. Now we are going to issue of services. So here if you observe, if invoice is issued before provision of service, that is within the time you, if at all it is done, see, when you have to issue, invoice must be issued before the service is provided. Second situation, if it is issued after provision of service, you still have a time of 30 days or 45 days to issue the invoice. 45 days in which case? Banking or insurance. There the time limit will be 45 days. But otherwise it will be 30 days. Lastly, in case of continuous supply of service, what will happen? When you have to issue the invoice, as and when the payment has been received or any event has been completed, that will be the time of supply of invoice has to be issued within that time. Otherwise, date of provision of service or completion, whichever is earlier. Sorry, date of payment, whichever is earlier. So let's see one by one. Before that, one point I would like to say in continuous supply. Please see, if the date of supply, date of payment is already ascertainable, then invoice must be issued on or before the due date. Like for example, I told no, water is being supplied. They told every month you come and take your payment on 10th. So what will happen? The due date is already fixed. So invoice has to be issued before the due date. If no due date is fixed, invoice has to be issued on or before the receipt of payment. Are you clear? If it is linked to the completion of an event, what do you mean by completion of an event? For example, I took the painting contract for this building. Okay. And the person, whoever is the owner, he told, I'll pay you 20% after you construct, after you complete the painting of first floor. After second floor, another 20%. After third floor, another 20%. So that means payment is already linked to the completion of event. Invoice has to be issued on or before the completion of that event. That is what is the last one. Understood? So let's see one example, time of issue of invoice. Now see there. Different situations I have given ma. Invoice is raised before completion. That means it is raised before the provision of service itself. Chalo. See there, invoice date 10/10, but date of completion is 15/10. Date of payment is 12/10. Now, invoice is issued before only. So, obviously, date of invoice or date of payment, whichever is earlier. So, time of supply, see there, 10/10. Clear? Next. Coming to the next one, advance received. Advance means you, obviously the word is very clear. Payment is received in advance. So now what will happen? Invoice is on 20th, but date of completion is 15/10. That means invoice issued after completion, but within time limit only. 30 days you have time, no ma. Just now I told no. Then date of payment is what? 12/10, because payment is received in advance. Obviously time of supply also will be 12/10. Then invoice raised after completion. That means after completing the event, invoice was raised. But when? See there, 26th January, but the completion of event was on 16th December. That means invoice should have been issued by 16th January, but it has been issued on 26th January. That means invoice was not within the time. So what I told just now, if invoice is not within the time, what is the time of supply? Come on. Your date of completion of service or date of payment, whichever is earlier. So ultimately our date of completion is earlier, hence 16/12 will be the time of supply. Last one, advance is received and invoice for full amount issued on the same day. Advance also is received, invoice also issued on same day. So there is no problem at all. Time of supply will be that day only. Yes, so I have given you, see there, 30/10 is the invoice date. Date of completion is 4/12, correct? Now date of payment is 30th October. So both has been done before. So what will happen ma? Time of supply also is before only. That is 30/10 only. Chalo. Then comes your monthly payment contract. Listen. Later on you can talk. Monthly payment contract. What I told, the due date has been fixed. Invoice must be issued within the time fixed, correct or not? So see there, invoice date 2/11, due date is, if you see due date column, all the dates are 10/11, 10/11, 10/11 only. Please see, I have given you different scenarios ma. First scenario is 2/11, invoice has been issued within the time only. Then what is the date of payment? 15/11. So 2/11 or 15/11, whichever is earlier, 2/11. Then comes 10/12. Here it is 10/12. So invoice has been issued within the time only. Then 15/12 is the date of payment. So what will be the time of supply? Obviously 10/12. Lastly, 10/1 is the invoice. 10/1 only is the due date, but the date of payment is 6/1. That means date received, payment received earlier. So what will happen? 6/1 will be the time of supply. Lastly, event completion contract. I told no. Painting contract I was telling you 20%, 20% like that. Based on that, see there, invoice date 12/10, completion is 10/12, 10/11. That means invoice was issued after, but within 30 days only. Was issued after, but within 30 days. Then date of payment is what? 25/11. But still time of supply will be 10/11 only. Why? Because it was linked to the completion of an event. Okay. Then lastly, 25/4 is date of invoice, completion also 25/4, date of payment is 24. So obviously, which is earlier? 24 is earlier. So please understand ma, these all, what all I am discussing here, the intention of this example is only one thing. Not to make you pass the exam. That is not the intention. Intention is to make you learn the concept of which rate of tax is applicable. Because we are finding out time of supply. That means if you take, for example, here in the first case, time of supply is 2/11, correct or not, in the first scenario. Now, if there is a change in rate on 1/11, what will happen? Which rate the supplier has to charge? New rate he has to charge. Why? Because time of supply is 2/11 only, but already rate changed on 1/11. He is aware of the old new rate, hence he has to charge 2/11. But the rate changed on 3/11. Old rate only he has to charge. Why? Because you do not know future what is going to happen. Did you understand? That's the whole idea of this 12 and 13. Understood? Then supplies under reverse charge. Just now when we were discussing about 12.3, I told 13.3, there itself we discussed the provisions of 13.3. If you remember, 3 dates will not come, only 2 dates will come also, I told you. So what are the 2 dates? Date of receipt of payment and 61st day from the date of issue of invoice, whichever is earlier. Are you clear? So see here, that is 61st day from the date of issue of invoice. Now, date of payment or date of invoice, 61st day, whichever is earlier. If these two are not applicable, now one fallback provision is there. That's what I wrote. If the above is not determinable, then the date of entry in the books of accounts will be the time of supply. Whichever date you made an entry, that will be the time of supply. And one special case which is being asked in the exam, I have given you. For supply made between associated enterprise. Come on, tell me. What do you mean by an associated enterprise? You have learned in law already. Come on. What do you mean by associated enterprise? Associate company you have learned? No. A company which has significant accounting transactions? No. That's called an associated enterprise. But here in GST, one associated enterprise must be outside India. Other one must be in India. Are you clear? So see here. For supply made between associated enterprise where supplier is located outside India, the time of supply shall be what, my dear? The earlier of date of entry in the books or date of payment. Obviously, whichever is earlier. Earlier of I told. Yes. Now listen. Based on this, we will see one example so that it will become easy for us. Reverse charge mechanism I have given you. General rule. If you see, date of invoice is 31st October. Date of completion also is 31st October. Date of receipt of payment 20th October. Date of entry in the books now not required. Now not required to check that. Now tell me time of supply. Obviously payment date is earlier. So 20th October. That's what time of supply I have mentioned. See the next one. Advance is received. Very clearly advance received means payment is only earlier. So 31st October or 30th November or 5th October. Which is earlier? 5th October. Chalo. Next. Delay in payment. Payment is not received earlier. So what will happen? See there. 31st October date of invoice. Date of completion also 31st October. So what will be earlier? Obviously 31st of October. That's what time of supply. Yes. 31st December. Why? Because 61st day from the date of invoice. No. Be careful. Reverse charge. No. And then last one. Services to associated enterprise. Now what? 31st October. These all are not required. Date of invoice, date of completion is not required for associated enterprise. Why? Because for associated enterprise, what did I tell here? Date of entry in the books or date of payment, whichever is earlier. Now tell. Hmm? 31st of March. That would be the answer. Understood? Then, supply of vouchers, we have already seen more. Tell me, what is the rule I told you for supply of vouchers? If supply is identifiable, date of issue of voucher. If the supply is not identifiable, based on that one example, please see. How they will ask, how they will give you identifiable and non-identifiable cases in the exam. Please see. Vouchers are issued after supply of service for the same service. Identifiable or not? Chalo, date of service is 111. Voucher issue date is also 111. Redemption date is 14/12. Come on. 111. Why? Because date of issue of voucher, you know for what service it is. Am I right? Right. Next. Voucher issued for machinery along with availing services worth rupees 5,000. Come on. Obviously, when it is issued with machinery, it is for machinery only. Identifiable. So what will be the date of time of supply? Come on. The date of issue of voucher. What is the date of issue of voucher? 111. Lastly, see, voucher is issued for supply for any other services. Any other means it is not identifiable. When it is not identifiable, bolo beta. Date of redemption. What is the date of redemption? See the answer. 14/12. Did you understand now? Then 13 subsection 5 same. When the time of supply in case what you call date of filing the return is there. If the return has to be filed, what will happen? The date of filing the return. If the return is not required to be filed, date of payment of tax. Then 13 subsection 6 also here itself I mentioned. Any addition in the form of interest, penalty, fees, etc. It will be taxable only when it is received. Understood? Yes or no? With this we come to an end of time of supply. quickly for the next half an hour, we'll finish off value of supply. Another 4 marks. I'm not giving a break here. I'm directly going forward so that whenever we complete value of supply, we'll close the class. Don't worry. It's a very small chapter only, but very important because in the exams, they are asking you one pakka question. Okay. If time permits, we'll see that question also. Okay. So that from Jan 2026 exam, so that will become easy for us. No, let's not talk. Come on. Value of supply, section 15. I already explained this just now, but still, once again, since we are coming specifically to this area, let's see, because there was an amendment in this value, which I showed you in the beginning of the class. Now, value of supply always pertains to transaction value only. It always pertains to what? Transaction value. What is transaction value? The price paid or payable for supply of goods or services or both, where the seller and buyer are not related to each other. Then only the value of transaction value can be taken into consideration. Otherwise, transaction value cannot be taken into consideration. Clear about this? Now, what are the inclusions in the transaction value? Tell me. What all can be included to the part of transaction value? Come on. Taxes can be included. Taxes, any tax paid to local authorities other than GST can be included. Right, next. Incidental expenses can be included. Very good, next. Any amount which the supplier had to pay, but it was paid by the recipient. That's what? Obligation of supplier made by the recipient. Correct or not? Next. Any interest penalty, just now. Once it is received by the person, then it will be included in the supply. Then next is subsidies. Subsidies, except the subsidies received from central government or state government. So let's see one by one. Non-GST levies can be taken. That is any taxes other than GST. Second one. Recipient incurred supplier's obligation. Hope you know about this concept. Yes? No? Still one question is there. I'll tell you. Based on that we can understand. Next. Incidental expenses. All expenses what you incur for supply of goods or services or both can form part of the transaction value. Then next. Financial charges. Come on. What are financial charges? Just now we told no penalty, late fee, interest, all these things are your financial charges that will be added to the taxable value. And lastly, subsidies. All subsidies directly linked to the price must be, and very importantly, he is saying linked to the price of the machine. If it is not linked, you should not take, but does not include subsidies issued by the central government or state government. Then, what are the exclusions to the value? Now, here there is an amendment which I already discussed, especially with regard to post-sales discounts. Correct? Now, let's see. Discounts are excluded from the taxable value under specific conditions. What are the conditions? If it is a primary discount, it should be mentioned in the invoice. That amount of discount should be mentioned in the invoice. Otherwise, if you allow any discount to happen, our Indians are very talented. They'll say, complete discount, sir. I did not receive any money, sir. This way they will try to escape the payment of tax, which is not correct at all. That is the reason they have told all the primary discount should be mentioned in the invoice. Then what about secondary discount? For secondary discount, now only one condition. What is that? The secondary discount must come only by way of an agreement between the seller and the buyer. Earlier, another condition was there. What is that? The buyer has to reverse the proportionate ITC. But now the buyer need not, because already the seller is giving you credit notes, which automatically impacts your income, the value in the GST returns. That is the reason why now no more reversal is required. That's point I have already highlighted. Please see. Reversal of input tax credit by recipient is not required. Everyone clear? This is the amendment, latest thing which has come. Please be careful. Okay. Next. Other exclusions. The TCS. TCS means tax collection at source levied under the Income Tax Act 1961. So when you buy any car about 10 lakhs, they will levy, they will add 1% TCS and give. You would have learned already. Same way even for alcoholic liquor. Same way for 10 due leaves. What all we learned just now in reverse charge mechanism, same points will come even there. Waste and scrap, minerals, all these things will come even in TCS. Then parking lot, quarry or a mine. Yes, these all will come under, and your what you call loans, foreign travels, all these will come under TCS in the income tax law. Okay, all those TCS should be excluded while calculating the value of taxable supply. Understood? Then no claim bonus. Now this is one new point. No claim bonus issued by insurance companies. What do you mean by no claim bonus? Any idea? Listen, whenever an insurance has been taken and if your vehicle is not met with any accident in the year, you will not claim any insurance compensation. When you don't claim insurance compensation, it is a benefit to the insurance company. Hence that insurance company will give you some bonus in the next year premium. That bonus what the insurance company gives you in the next year premium is called no claim bonus. Understood? And that no claim bonus, whatever is issued by the insurance company, should not form part of your taxable supply. Understood? Because that is a bonus, no ma, that's getting reduced from the total value. Are you clear? That's why next year when you pay renewal insurance premium, that amount will be reduced from the premium value, which means it is not forming part of the value of taxable supply. Understood? Then 15 subsection 4 and 15 subsection 5. Before we go to the problems, these two residuary sections. 15 subsection 4 says when the transaction value cannot be determined using the above rules, what will happen? The value shall be determined according to CGST determination of valuation rules. There are some valuation rules which are not applicable for your CA inter-level exam. Okay, that will be dealt in the final level, not here. Then 15 subsection 5. Notwithstanding anything contained in 15 subsection 1 and 4, the government may add the recommendations of GST Council. What will they do? They will specify some valuation methods that anyhow is not applicable to us, just since it is there in the subsections I am telling you. Now let's do one problem for which I have given the answer also here. But before looking at the answer, you tell me the value. Because this kind of questions are being asked in the exam. Let's study. Slowly only we will do. You can just put it in the calculator. Need not put it in the notes and all. Or if you want to put it in the notes also, you can put XYZ Private Limited has provided the following particulars relating to goods sold to whom? ABC Limited. Compute the value of taxable supply. Come on. What will happen? List price of the goods he gave some amount 50,000. Correct? Next, municipal tax on sale 5,000. CGST and SGST 10,440. Last, packing charges not included in the above. How much? 1,000. Additional facts. He gave NGO subsidies. Come on. 2,000. Discount offered 2% of list price. Can we calculate the value of taxable supply now? Chalo, calculate and tell me the value. Don't see the answer. Chalo. I have removed the answer. I have only given you the points to be considered. That's all. Chalo. 57, everyone. First we will take how to present the answer in the exam. I will tell you, listen. You have to write computation of value of taxable supply, particulars, amount rupees and reason. Because the examiner is expecting the reason from you. Okay, why you included, why you excluded. Yes. If they are, listen ma, if they told you specifically no explanation is required, then don't give. Otherwise, give the explanation. Or you can give explanation after doing the problem. Explanation number 1, explanation number 2, like that you can give. Or reason number 1, 2, 3, you can mention. Are you clear? So first, please understand computation of value of taxable supply, particulars and amount rupees. Okay. Now particular amount rupees, two columns. Okay, particulars. In that first list price of the goods, outer column directly 50,000. Add inclusions. What all should be included now? Here, municipal tax on sale is there. That has to be included 5,000 rupees. Correct? Then CGST should not be included. Don't include. It is not included also. Don't do anything. Next, packing charges 1,000 rupees. Add. After that, you have NGO subsidy. I told you just now, subsidies only from central or state government you should not include. All other subsidies you should include. So now add back that 2,000 also. So how much it became? 57,000. No, 58,000. Less exclusions. He gave discount 2% of list price. List price is 50. 2% of 50 is how much? 1,000. Just exclude that. 57,000 will be the answer. That should be the value of taxable supply. Are you clear about this? Yes? Simple it is. Okay. Similar question was asked in the Jan 2026 exam. I'll open the question paper and we will check that also. Okay. Before that, next, practice question number 2. Now, this is based on, okay, I'll not tell you. First, you read. RS Taxpayers Hub developed a GST software for Srinath and Associates for rupees 3 lakhs. Compute the value of taxable supply for RS Taxpayers Hub. RS Taxpayers Hub owed rupees 10,000 to a vendor for a service provided to Srinath and Associates. Srinath and Associates discharged his liability on behalf of RS Taxpayers Hub. Somewhere we got this one. Srinath and Associates delayed the payment including interest of rupees 7,500. Somewhere we came across. Come on. In inclusions, if you remember, supplier's obligation met by the recipient. That should form part of the taxable value. Now what will be the taxable value for Srinath and Associates? Come on. For RS Taxpayers Hub, what is the value of taxable supply? 3 lakhs plus 10,000 what they owed, which was paid by Srinath and Associates, plus 7,500 was in the form of interest or penalty, which we have to take because all financial obligations we told. So 3,17,500 will be the value of taxable supply for whom? That's it. Understood now? Yes, that is the importance of this second point here. Recipient incurred, supplier's obligations. Everyone clear about this? So with this, value of supply is over. One problem, as I told from the recent exam, we will just discuss that and we can close the class for the day. Now you should be able to solve this question. Yes. Hope this is visible to you. You want me to zoom? I can. Chalo. This was asked in January 2026 exam and it was asked for 5 marks straight away. Below itself we have the answer. I'll come back to the answer, but first let's look into the question. Come on. 1 second. Yeah, from here. Come on, you have to study and tell. I am waiting for you. Fry Limited, registered in the state of Rajasthan, sold one machine to BGC Limited, registered in the state of Rajasthan, which is intrastate supply, in the month of May 2025 at a contract price of 8,50,000 exclusive of taxes and discount. CGST and SGST 6% each is chargeable on the machine. The following amounts have been charged from BCG Limited in addition to the contract price. What are they? Outward freight charges. Contract was to deliver machine at BGC Limited's factory. Okay. Then additional information. See there. Fry Limited offers trade discount of 3% on the contract price of 8,50,000, which was duly recorded in the invoice. This is what I was telling you. Primary discount should have been recorded. Do you remember? Next, Fry Limited normally gives an interest-free credit period of 15 days for payment from the date of issue of invoice, failing which interest at the rate of 1.5% per month or part thereof shall be charged. Within how many days they have to make the payment? 15 days. Now see the next line. The payment was made after 18 days from the date of issue of invoice. However, this line I told, Fry Limited waived the interest payable. I just now told in the class. This kind of point will come in the exam, I told. It has come. Okay? See the next one. Fry Limited received following subsidies directly linked to the price. What are they? 60,000 from one non-government organization on sale of such machine. NGO subsidies we should include. Right. 80,000 from the state government on the sale of such machine. Both subsidies were not deducted while arriving at the contract price. So now you consider is what he is telling you. Okay. Now compute the taxable value of supply as per the provision of GST laws, considering that the price is the sole consideration for supply and both parties are unrelated to each other. Will you calculate? Yes? Chalo. Make it fast, quickly. I am displaying the question. I'll reduce the zoom so that entire question is visible immediately. Chalo. Jaldi karo beta. I told you already how to calculate also compute the computation of value of taxable supply. Jaldi. 9 lakh? So soon. Let everyone complete. Come on. Boys, no answer. Make it fast. Shall we go to the answer now? Yes, everyone. Finished? You want me to wait? Done? Chalo. Just cross check your calculation. Once we'll go to the answer also. Computation of value of taxable supply. I told no. Particulars, amount rupees. I told in the exam also you have to present like that. See. Cost, contract price 8,50,000. Now outward freight charges for delivery. Since the supplier agrees to deliver, it's so and so, he has added already. Okay. Then trade discount he has reduced 25,500. I don't know whether you have reduced or not. First take all inclusions, then give exclusions. He went in the order of the points what he gave for the student to understand. Okay. Then interest for delayed payment anyhow waived off. Then price linked to the subsidy. See there. From the state government he has excluded. Why? Because he told one point, he already told it was not reduced from the price. That means it is already included. So only state government subsidy he has excluded now. Are you clear? That is the mistake. So please be careful. 7,86,500. Why this change has come? That's why you should read the question properly, ma. I'm just taking you back to the question. One line is there. Please see. See here. Compute the value of taxable supply as per provision of GST laws considering, no, not this one. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, this one, this line. Both the subsidies were not deducted while arriving at the contract price. The subsidies were not deducted. Actually, state government subsidies should be deducted. Now they deducted it. Are you clear about this? Yes or no? So please be careful. These kind of one small line also will change the answer if you don't look at it. That is the reason I wanted you to do this question now itself. And I was also telling you about stock transfer and branch transfer, if you remember. Yes, see here, one point came. Stock transferred to its branch without consideration. Activity is mentioned in schedule number 1. Yes. Shimoga, Karnataka. Branch has same GSTN and goods valuation rules is 2,50,000. Since, listen, if stock transfer happens within the same state, yes, it need not form part of the supply. It is not a supply. If it happens from one state to another state, then it will become a supply. So that is the reason you have to be careful with these points. Understood about this? Yes. So till here, we'll stop or we'll continue one more topic. Sure? Sir, you should stop, sir. You told, otherwise it becomes cheating. Anyhow, once before going home, since we have learned this concepts, I asked you to download this one. Saransh, just go home and download in your mobile or in the laptop. Why am I asking you to do that is, once you download that, see this. Yes. We started with the supply. Please see. All the points, what all we discussed is there here in Saransh. Please see. Yes. Similarly, supply includes, you only told transfer, yes or no, barter, exchange, sale, everything. What I want you to do is, and we discussed no persons, member to the club, unincorporated association, these all we discussed. Importation of service, and I told no permanent transfer of disposal of business assets, distinct, related or distinct persons. See, principal and agent, that also we discussed today. Then import of services also we discussed. Then you have some activities. I told no ownership transfer, it will become supply of goods. Otherwise it becomes supply of services. These are list he has given. Okay. I want you to just go through all these things and then come up tomorrow with some doubts. And then you have see there composite and mixed supply. Yes or no? Then we also discussed about levy and collection of GST. In that various definitions we have come across, and goods that are liable for reverse charge, supplies that are liable for reverse charge, composition scheme we have come across. Am I right? I only asked you questions, you gave me the answers also. Do you remember, ma? Then this we did not discuss still. We'll come back on this one. Then after this, exemptions also we didn't discuss. Then we have discussed time of supply. Correct or not? All these points. Just now we did one revision also. I mean with the problems also we did the practice. Then we did value of supply just now. I want you to go through all these provisions once again and come, so that next when the tax exam comes, you only have to revise. Don't read everything again. Now that the concept is fresh. Tomorrow morning you have any class? Okay, law class. So today evening, just go sit for 1.5 hours. What all we discussed, just revise. It will become very simple and easy for you. Okay? Chalo. Bye bye everyone. We'll meet again tomorrow at the same time.